Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and we are here with another session of Adventures in Middle-earth. We're officially at session 10, believe it or not, and we're still in Dale. Hopefully this will be the last time that they're in Dale for a while, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and introduce our cast of lovely players before jumping right in. So let's go ahead and start with Blurry Valineth.
Am I blurry? Oh no. Here, let's do this. Let's focus in my forehead as I talk about Valineth. Okay, so I am Valineth, or I am Dain. My actual name is Dain, or Forged. I play the character Valineth. He is a high elf of Rivendell, and he is a scholar class. He's a book nerd, and he thinks that humans are animals. So, good stuff.
I love it. Next we have Theodric.
Hey everybody, I'm that Toby Australian. I play Theodric Grimborn, the young man of Rohan, who does not think humans are animals, and thinks that maybe a few elves could use some manners being taught to them.
And next we have Jalen. Nope, no words are coming out.
It wasn't me for once.
The first time in forever. There we go. Yeah, I'll have to say, Theodric, Valineth is a man of
Science.
right.
Oh wait, no, that's Thordain.
of book smart, not street smart.
No, can't hear you still, Jalen.
I really,
Oh,
really don't.
perfect.
there we go.
We got it. We're good.
Really?
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
yeah, we can.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, we can.
Yes.
So well.
See, this is annoying. Anyway, I'm Jalen. I'm having my problems. Just bear with me. Yeah, I'm also SpiderFan33 in Twitch chat, which we're pretty active in, so cool.
Sweet. And she is a warden from the Brelands. Moving on to Feanor, our final character.
I am Feanor, a Mirkwood Elf Slayer who rides around on his white stag Nifrarion, and he's the one that told Valineth that humans are animals.
Yeah.
He's very sorry for her.
Such is life. Well, awesome. So that's our cast of characters. We are going to go ahead and jump right in where we left off last time. But first, a little bit of recap. So this party of adventurers met up in the city of Dale, the city where the celebration of the five armies, or the gathering of the five armies, happened 5 years after the defeat of after the battle of the five armies and the defeat of Smaug. And while they're spending time here, they got to know each other through the festivities, such as games, winning all kinds of competitions, all kinds of stuff, meeting all sorts of people, really prominent people like kings and also urchin girls that steal vambraces as well. So that happens. And throughout all of that, they came close and have kind of made the name for themselves here in the city. And once the celebration, the gathering of the five armies ended, they decided to hunker down and stay the winter. With that being said, we have this group of adventurers. They ran into, towards the end of the winter months, kind of towards the end of February, into Brindle, who Valineth has been looking for quite some time. The urchin girl who stole his vambrace of Numenor from him a while ago, months ago.
He wants that vambrace back.
Yeah, he wants that vambrace back, but they were able to officially chase her down before she escaped into the depths of the city in the dead of winter, well, the end of winter, and figure out kind of what her situation is. Unfortunately, her situation seems worse than what they had perhaps assumed, assuming that she was simply just someone who was stealing to survive. But unfortunately, she is a victim as well of an oppressive, basically, gang leader that basically she has to work to survive, but she's barely, with whatever she gets, she's barely left with enough to survive. And so the group made a promise with her, or planned to meet up with her in the park in the Commons, which is in the far south west of town, to where they kept a lookout for her. But they did discover upon investigation of some of the people that live there that she never comes alone. And this is what ended up happening was there was definitely one of the youngsters that was there with her, kind of hidden, which Valinith was masterfully able to draw away and distract.
Dance party. Nothing
yes.
like a dance party. I had a boom box, was pointing up the ceiling. It's good, like this.
swinging around. It's a very nice, some square dancing.
Say, throw your hands in the air like you just don't care.
Pretty much, yep.
At some point.
Yeah, exactly. And all the while, Brindle, she spilled her guts out to Jalen, basically saying that she needs help accepting the gifts, the offerings to her for her to bring back to her group, which she explains is a group of youngins like herself that were displaced when the basically Dragon Smaug fell out of the sky onto Lake Town and crushed or burnt the houses which they lived. And so coming out of that abject poverty into the city of Dale, they have been in Brokenstone, which is the slums of Dale, and they formed a essentially kind of like this brotherhood, this kind of thug gang in order to survive. However, they fell into with the wrong crowd by three individuals by the name of Jonor, Kelmund, and Finnar. And the three of these individuals were actually close personal guards to the Master of Lake Town back when before Esgaroth was rebuilt and before the Smaug came and destroyed it. But with the Master of Lake Town, the old Master of Lake Town dead, they had nowhere to go to, and the new Master of Lake Town wanted nothing to do with them. And so they came to Dale, basically took these kids hostage, now or like in their early 20s, so not quite as much kids, and are forcing them to work for them in order to do kind of the petty thievery and more so kind of grand larceny with Valinith's Vambrace, his priceless Vambrace. And she basically had mentioned that both Jonar and Kelmund had made their way into the city as there was a job opportunity, the city of Esgaroth, as there was a job opportunity that had made its way up. However, they did leave Finnar to basically watch over and to keep control of the gang. That they are, and he is the one who is usurping his will amongst everybody. Well, the remaining members who are named Olaf, Arn, Gunnar, and the last one is named Vidar. And so and then obviously Brindle as well. And then with that, Theodric noticed that there was also a man who had basically been a man who was hooded, who had peeked his way around the corner, that at the end of all of this craziness and the dancing, as soon as I believe it was Arn made his way back to Brokenstone, Theodric noticed that there was another man across the kind of little river that is within the middle of the city that had ducked away as well. And that is where we're going to go ahead and leave off. So setting up kind of the general picture, we still have Brindle that is there, and she has all of her stuff, and she is actually quickly packing up as she has seen Arn make his way back east through the city to Brokenstone. So, and now I believe it was around 8 p.m. As far as that goes. So
Is the dance party still going on?
dance party's still going on. He basically just escaped. So we're at the point where he's pretty much like just escaped and everything is still happening. So Theodric, you're the only one who knows that there was a man peeking around the corner, and so we're literally leaving off right at that point.
Okay, Theodric stands once he's seen this gentleman. Like, he noticed me and started moving off, right? Like, he saw that he'd been made and decided to book it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so Theodric's going to stand and, like, lower his hood and approach. Who's closest, Feanor?
Jalen's probably closest. So Theodric and Feanor have made their way kind of over to this area of the Commons, where Jalen is right here talking with Brindle, or finishing talking up to Brindle as she hurriedly packs everything up and makes her way and is about to depart. Theodric, you are currently right there. You're easily within a quick call's distance away.
Okay, I'll be like, Jalen, we had a tale. He moved off pretty quickly once he noticed he'd been had, but we were being watched.
Oh, can't hear ya.
Got muted again.
Oh no. Nope.
So-
it continues.
Yeah. So, Spider, for you, if you don't want to mute yourself between, you don't have to, obviously. So you don't have to deal
That's
with it.
weird.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Really? That's
Yes.
That's phenomenal.
Oh, not now.
Excellent. I finally
Oh,
got
there
my
we go.
mic to work.
Yeah.
Okay, it's functioning properly.
Woohoo.
Oh my god.
Party time.
Okay. Right. So what does Theodric yell? I was distracted by technical issues.
We were being watched.
Just like a concerned glance towards Brindle.
She's packing up, and she
Yeah.
kind of like glances at you side-eyed, and she says, I don't know who that is. No one else should be here. As she kind of packs things up, and she like throws kind of like the sack over her shoulder as she begins to turn away.
Wait a
Very clearly in a hurry, and very clearly there's a little bit of fear on her face.
Just wait 2 seconds, we'll figure this out. Theodric, did you see any facial features or
Make a wisdom skill check for me. Or just a straight up wisdom check. Yep.
Okie dokie. Wisdom. How do I just do a wisdom check?
You just click
Passive
wisdom.
or... Okay. It keeps just bringing me up what wisdom does.
you need to actually
Oh, there we go.
yeah.
Oh, that is a 4.
A 4. You weren't able to make out details, but the one detail that you did make out was the fact that he had, instead of a greenish hood like both Brindle and Arn had, because you did catch a quick glimpse at Arn as obviously Valinov made him very visible. He had kind of this almost ornate looking brownish hood, but like the rest of his clothes were pretty tattered still, and you noticed that there was pretty overgrown patchy stubble coming out from underneath the hood. That's all you were able to mention or see.
Okay. Kind of stubbly chap with a fancy brown hood.
I turn towards Brindle. Does that sound like someone?
She nods her head quickly as she kind of starts stepping away, and she says, "It's Finnar. I can't associate with you," and she just runs, and she just starts booking it back through. Yeah, this is something. What's your guys' plan? What's the plan? I will mention, so as Valineth and Feanor have kind of made this whole spectacle and attention, there are a number of guards that are kind of up on top of the hill, and a couple of them have actually kind of made their way into the commons. One or two of them seem to be really enjoying, but one of the guards up top says, "Hey, somebody, stop that girl!" As Brindle runs away, and nobody seems to be paying attention, and then he seems like, ugh. Clearly she's being looked out for.
Okie dokie.
I'm not sure if you remember. I was actually Fada was actually hiding further down the street for when
That's why you're all the way over here. That makes sense.
Yeah, I was like slipped into one of the dark street more or less that he came out of to see what he does once he was heading off, if he headed back this way.
Yeah, so he starts running basically across. There's a bridge that's right here into kind of the entry gate area. Do you wish to tail him? He doesn't. You see him clearly pass by, but he doesn't give you even a passing glance as he just hurriedly makes his way. Do you wish to wait, or do you wish to tail him?
Fana's gonna try and tail him, and he's gonna do like he'll get to a corner, look around, see what corners he's like turning around, like trying to keep a little bit of distance from him, just trying to see like what general part of the city he's in more than specifically where he's going.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me as you do so.
And 11.
11. So you're able to track him down kind of through. He makes his way through the very first kind of busy-ish street, and you're able to peek around, and you see that he immediately hooks a left up towards kind of where the main street towards the central market is. You keep following him, and I'm going to have you make a dexterity saving throw as you are trudging through very slushy streets at this point. So it's not quite as bad as it was the night before.
An 18.
18, you easily do so. And so you're able to track him kind of up through this main square area. And as you do this, you notice that he is checking kind of back and forth to see if anybody has caught his tail. Fortunately, you're able to just duck around the corner enough for him to not catch your glimpse. But you do hear the panting of what sounds to be a young woman not close behind you, or not too far behind you. Do you wish to intercept that, or do you wish to let her pass?
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of stay. Athena's gonna stay like in the shadows and kind of just let this person run away.
Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't have your net ready.
Wah!
Well,
Again!
I'm trying to be inconspicuous. If I just suddenly running, if someone else sees me chasing after someone else, he doesn't know who this is.
True.
You know, better to let someone else run by and then.
Absolutely. Yeah, you wait for probably about 3 seconds, and you see that this man, Arn, he kind of hangs back in kind of a darkened corner as he looks around very, very intently. I'm going to have you make another stealth check as he does so. He's looking very, very intently. He thinks he's being trailed, most likely.
Natural 1. For a total of 5.
Natural 1. So he looks and he sees that you're kind of standing there in the corner, at which point you catch his eye and you kind of like try to move backwards, but you just stumble and you fall kind of backwards, and a number of kind of wooden objects, a bucket and like a barrel, you're able to knock over a barrel, and you have made your attention very known. Without too much time that passes, Brindle, she makes her way in, and you hear under her breath, she kind of takes a look, kind of nods at you, but then it says, "Come on, Arn, let's go. We got the goods." As she makes her way off, basically towards the center of town. If you attempt to track them, this will be a chase sequence. Or if you just want to let them go, you may do so as well.
Yeah, Feanor's gonna chase after them, but like with the intent of like making it not seem like as much that Brindle's like, you know, like there's a symbol there or something. He's like letting them get away, so he's not chasing as effectively as he could. But
Got it.
kind of keeping up the image that this was someone trailing them
Perfect.
for whatever reason.
I would say that you do that quite easily, and so you follow them kind of up through the center of town here. And they keep pretty close to like the shades of the buildings, and they duck off in this direction, and this is where you do leave them. This is a relatively familiar area to where around where you saw her before, kind of down in this general direction. If anything, you can actually see, because the hill rises up this way. You can see as it goes down into broken stone, like the roofs that are there, kind of the mismatched set of like Tudor and like hay and like that kind of stuff that makes up broken stone. But you do lose track of them around that area. So Jalen, Theodric, and Valinith, what are you guys?
Did Valinith notice any of that went down?
Which part?
Like for example, Jalen. I mean, obviously he saw that Arn got away, but like Jalen leaving and like just like the shenanigans that went down since we started stream.
You basically saw, unless you were also in pursuit and chasing, which I'm going to assume you weren't. You were dancing. You saw basically Brindle run away, and you also saw Arn run away. So you're not really understanding what's happening. You're dancing, and there are a number of guards and people that are there that are very much enjoying the dances of your people.
Yeah, he's in the middle of a sweet step dance, and he's having a battle with one of the locals. You know, like a Lord of the Rings style dance battle.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Good. Do I have to roll anything for that?
Go ahead and make a performance check.
Sweet.
Dex saving throw. Boom, you broke your ankle.
Given the situation, Jalen would like call him in from the dance anyway.
Okay.
Well, I
We'll see how
still want
well
to
he
do
does
this. I still want
Yeah, absolutely. I will. I'm very
Performance.
keen to see your results.
All right, here we go. I don't know what was that. 7.
7. So you're dancing. You're dancing kind of somewhat mediocrely, and you can tell that people are seeing you and they see that you're having a good time, but that's about it. Like, it's enough to entertain, but it's not enough to be like, wow, this elf is really good at dancing. So yeah, that's nice. And then
He's rusty. He's years away from his people.
yeah, exactly. And as this is happening, you hear Jalen call you over.
Oh, Jalen, yes. I saw the young one run away. Is everything okay?
I would say not. We were being observed by a man she is deathly afraid of.
Was it
Terrified
the
would be a
man that
better
I was?
word.
Was it the man that I was
No.
dancing with?
No, that
No,
was on.
different. There's another man.
There are. Would you believe that there are multiple men?
You know, maybe there might be 2.5 of them. I don't know.
All right.
But
Hobbits, I tell you.
I tell you, I don't know. And
Look,
I'm assuming
we
you
need to
two-
regroup with someone, or
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know. Where's Feanor, by the way? Is he there?
I think. Did I see him go off?
You did not, because he left while you were still talking with Brindle, and so he essentially kind of like he's just gone. He's nowhere to be seen.
Okay. Can I look for the man in the brown cloak?
You may. So you cross the river, and as you do so, I'm going to have you make an investigation check as you search up and down for him.
I'm not as good as investigation. No, I'm
But
great.
Valnus is good.
Yeah.
Help you.
I,
He can assist
oh,
you.
can I assist? Can Valinus-
Sure. Valineth can assist. Jalen, you're going to make this roll, but you can make it at an advantage.
Sweet.
Yeah. Heck yes, boy.
Theodric, what are you doing at this point?
Theodric
was not
is
as good.
generally just kind of like pointing out where he saw, what was it, Finnar?
Finnar. Mhm.
Yes. He's pointing out where he saw Finnar and like in which direction he went, just so Jalen has a place to start her investigation.
Perfect. Jalen.
I got a 9.
9.
Does
Okay.
Does she get double advantage for that?
No. Unfortunately, that'd be too intense. No. So basically, the way that this works is, Theodric, you come kind of across this bridge and you point the general direction. And so both Jalen and Valinith make their way across, and they see that like everybody has kind of scattered from this area. They see that you're looking quite frantic, and you're not so much to the point where it's just like you're stealthily doing this by any means. Like it's very obvious that you're looking for something, and people like that are walking down like take one look at you and then like turn around and go the other way. However, Theodric, you do point out that the man was peeking around from this corner, and he made his way in this general direction, kind of like a little bit northeast, towards kind of the city center as well. Feanor, you did not notice any men with brown hoods as you made your way to the city center, just FYI.
Theodric is like, he appeared to be making his way towards the city center. That may be the best place for us to start searching and see if we can pick up his trail again.
No, I
If
think
not,
he's
we can
gone.
we could probably ask some of the people around there if they've seen him at least.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I think our best option at this point is to alert the guards as to what's going on, see if they can let us handle it, just us, and then take a look at their hideout and see what we can find.
I can concur with that. With the law on our side, we are sure to be victorious.
Well, yes, but also I don't want to end up in prison by the end of this. So
I
we
mean,
need to
that's a
make sure
great
that
idea.
they're in the loop.
Yes. But should we go towards the city center if that's where Theodric said that he was heading? I mean, at the very least, I don't see any of the harm in at least heading
Look.
that way.
I know where he's heading. I know where their hideout is. I know.
Did we get that information?
I did. Yes.
Okay.
I
That
did.
was me asking
You guys
out of
have no idea,
character.
but I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then
Um,
let's just tell the guards what we're doing and head there.
Astute idea, Theodric. Let's do it. And Valnith goes over and tells the nearest guard, "Hello, good sir," and just tells him all the
Oi,
names and-
nice dancing there, elf.
Oh, little rusty for my age, but I do have to say, in these cold times, you gotta keep the blood flowing.
I will say it's kind of it's livelier here than I'm used to seeing. Usually us guard don't like this patrol as it's very uneventful, but you have made it well, at least a patrol to remember, that's for sure. What can I do for you, Master Elf?
Before I answer, well, elves are technically immortal, so I
Yes.
guess by I mean he's young by immortal standards, I guess. He's still not like he's not Elrond or anything. Anyways, and I explained the entire situation to the guard. I explained the fact that there's a girl who is named Brindle, who is part of a hoodlum group, and she's trying to get out, and there's a bunch of oppressive people, you know, lording over her. I don't know very much, so I asked Jalen or someone who knows the story better than Valneth to reciprocate such things. I'm assuming.
Look, yeah, basically, these, for lack of a better word, bullies, recruited a bunch of these kids who were displaced when the dragon set fire to everything. There were a bunch of children displaced, and these guys recruited them into their pickpocketing scheme, and now we're trying to get them out of it. Before, someone gets seriously hurt. She was telling me about her friend who was beaten into a pulp. He was concussed and didn't wake up for days. It's a very serious situation. But we know that, it's not necessarily a good thing if we get involved and it gets violent, and then it's like out of the law's hands. So we just wanted to let you know what's going on. Here's the situation. What can be done about it?
The guard, he kind of looks at the group of you, and with the stern kind of expression on his face, he says, "That's more information than we've been able to find for quite some time. We've been trying to track this girl by the name of Brindle, you say. She has been, there have been many here that have been the subjects of pickpocketing and thievery throughout the city for the past couple of years, and it's only been increasing more and more. Unfortunately for us, she is very, very good at what she does. And so we've tried to track her down, her and her group, and we've only been able to triangulate around Broken Stone, but every time we go into that place, we are unable to find anything. Of course, we don't want to disturb the peace, and we don't want to raid the homes of innocent people. However, making our way in there, they seem to do a great job of covering up their tracks. If you have any information of what we could do to be able to assist you," and he knows actually, Jalen, you quite well. This is a guard that you've run into a number of times at the missing scale. And let's go ahead and give him a name. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Which I do have. Let's go ahead and give him the name Rodri. So Rodri. Rodri.
Good one. I like it.
And so you recognize him, and you've chatted with him a little bit, and from what you know, he's a good guy. He takes his job very seriously, and he loves to have a good time, but at the same time, he is someone who has been in the guard since Dale has been re-resurrected. If anything, he actually served as a guard back when Lake Town was attacked by Smaug. And so he's taken some time to be able to try to figure this out and whatnot. And he does ask, he's like, what can we do to be able to help you bring this to justice? And I trust that you would be able to do so, to be able to help these children if you do say that they are in trouble.
Yeah, kids are going to be my first priority. I know that, they're probably only a few years younger than I am. But at the end of the day, I think really rehabilitation might be a go for them. You know, they don't necessarily like stealing from people. Yeah, so the trick there is to get them some good jobs that they can work honestly at. Yeah, as far as this ringleader goes, by her account at least, he's not a man worth associating with.
Do you have any ideas of the identity of this fellow? We've been looking for him for quite some time, or from what I've noticed, it's a group of individuals. Is that correct?
She said that there were 3 of them. Jonah seems to be the leader of them. Him and another one, Kelmund, is out of town at the moment, pawning some items. Actually, Valineth, they have your van brace, so we'll need
you
to go
found
to
it?
Esgaroth. They did. They took it to Esgaroth. That's the last we know. The one currently in charge is a man by the name of Fina. She says he's super evil, beat a guy half to death. But we know he's currently wearing a brown cloak and has bearded stubble on his chin. Right, Theodric?
Correct. I saw him but for a moment before he escaped.
The guard shakes his head and he's... You do realize these 3 men, they served the old master of Lake Town and they were very close confidants of his. The old master of Lake Town was a greedy man, a greedy individual, and it seems that he surrounded himself with men of equal greed. I had no idea what had become of them since the Battle of the 5 Armies, and it hurts my heart to see that they have been hurting the people here in Dale. We will do what we can to be able to help. I will gather some of my men. What is your plan going forward from here?
Well, I think the best course of action would be to rendezvous at their hideout before you can hurt any of the kids anymore, and before they can relocate to another. So yeah, I will go ahead and show the group where their hideout is located, which was like at the edge of the west wall. I think she said there was like a.
I'll go ahead and
large-
ping for you.
Yeah. Thanks.
So it's going to be right here. This general area is where she said that they are going to go ahead and where their current hideout is in Brokenstone. You are able to kind of describe this, and actually as you do so, Valineth, he takes out a piece of parchment and he's able to draw a rough but very accurate scale of this map. Actually, Valineth, I'm going to have you go ahead and make a traditions check for me.
Traditions. He's pretty good at that.
And this
Good.
is going to be at advantage because you have
Sweet.
cartographers proficient with cartography.
Thank goodness. Yes, that's way better. 17.
17. Yeah, you're able to draw out essentially a rough sketch of this city. From what you were able to notice, you haven't spent a whole ton of time in Brokenstone, but you did do a little bit of investigation through kind of some general area. So you've made kind of an idea of where kind of the mishmash of streets meet on the small alleyways. And based off of the information that Jalen gave, you were able to kind of triangulate around this area is probably most likely where it's going to be. As you notice that this is where a number of, I think I had mentioned this before, there's like a kind of a larger building with kind of a hay roof, and then I think I mentioned that. And so you describe that, and you vaguely remember this, Valineth, from your kind of journeys. But you didn't make your way into it. But it was a small alley that tucked you deep behind this kind of whole area, and this is your general idea of where you are. So you're able to do that very masterfully and write that down.
And I say that I haven't been much within this neighborhood in particular, but I do know that this is where it leads, and this is where we need to duck through. I think we're going to stand out anytime we go through here, so I do think we should be mighty careful when we do make our way through there, he says. So. Cool. But first we need to find Feanor. Where is he? Where the heck is that guy?
True. Let's go ahead and cut to Feanor. So Feanor, as you lose the trail of Brindle and Arn, what's your plan? What do you plan to do here?
Before we had all gone to meet up, where are we staying again? Like what part of the city?
So currently you guys are staying up here in area 12. There's one of these kind of like houses that are up
In
here.
the
that
White
you stay
Lane?
in. Yeah, White Lane.
Okay, cool. Honestly, he'd probably just like maybe start heading back there. Honestly, maybe through like the town square.
Okay.
And start making his way back there because this one was mostly to be able to talk to her and get us and stuff like that. He's not, this wasn't a hunt down mission,
Mhm.
and he wants to regroup with the others, and that's the best place to wait for him.
Cool.
In his mind.
As you do that, I'm going to have both. I'm going to have actually Theodoric, Valineth, and Jalen as you do so, and you hurriedly make your way back to the general city center of town to see if you catch Feanor before he does head back up to the White Lane. I'm going to have all of you. Just make straight acrobatics checks for me.
Acrobatics. Oh.
As you're kind.
Speedy.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit out there.
I got an 11.
11.
14.
Good. 14 also.
Awesome. Yeah, you make your way through no problem. If anything, you're actually able to make your way from kind of this center all the way to the city center. I would guess within probably 5 minutes. Pretty quick as you make your way past all the houses and the emptying streets. Fortunately, you're able to catch Feanor just before he leaves. You basically see his cloak brushing in the breeze as you see him make his way up in the northern direction towards the White Lane. That was good. You actually hit just the DC you needed to catch him. So
Nice.
Does it all add together? So what would that have been?
no,
A 30, a 35.
that's
or a
math.
30?
What is this?
Well, you never done like whole
Yeah.
party skill checks before?
Oh heck no.
Hey, Feanor, over here! Where'd you run off to? Valineth calls out to him as he sees him.
Oh, you're all here. I was just heading back to the house to see if you guys would show up. Actually,
Alright.
I went after that fellow that you brought into the dance party, Valineth.
Oh yeah. Huh?
He did meet up with Brindle in the end, so
Oh, did
You know
he?
what? I
Um,
love you guys, but we need to go. It's
Ooh.
go time.
I'm assuming
Right.
we're running as we're saying this.
I can't tell because you're talking so peacefully.
Well, that's how I talk.
I'm not. What are we talking about? What are you on about?
Look, I'll explain
Why
all
do
the
we
way.
need to? Okay.
And I'll
Where
just
am
fill
I
it
running?
in. And I imagine he gets pretty angry, especially as I mentioned the fact that like Olaf, I think, was the one who was beaten senseless.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you have this conversation and you are following this map. Again, the nice thing is you are familiar with the city, and now that it is a sanctuary, you're able to understand it quite well, and you find your way over to Broken Stone without much difficulty. I'm gonna have each of you. Well, actually, what are your guys' passive perceptions?
Roll good. Roll good. Roll good.
11.
Ooh, 13.
Oh, sorry,
13.
wait,
Uh,
passive wisdom.
Passive
13 as well.
perception.
11.
15.
15. Yeah,
Passive,
you.
not aggressive.
You hurriedly make your way into this area, but Valineth and Jalen and Feanor, the three of you immediately pick up on the fact that there are snow drifts that are piled against these buildings at the outskirts of Broken Stone. However, you do see that there are a number of footprints, what looks to be 2 sets of footprints that lead into the city, and they look very fresh.
Lucky it's winter time, I do have to say. Do you notice those footprints?
Yeah, I wouldn't trust those too much because if I were them, I'd want to be in like a roundabout route.
Valineth
disguise.
crouches down and sniffs a footprint and tries to do his best to like
Dude.
act like he's doing something. Like he
Mate,
knows
what are you
what's going
doing?
on.
Tell
I
me,
am
Valineth,
tracking.
What does your elf nose see?
You're not a bloodhound.
The They're taking the Brindle to Isengard. Oh no, I'm joking. I'm joking, of course. It's a Rivendell joke. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just looking to see the size and see if it matches.
Yeah, basically, as you bend down and look at these tracks, there is probably there's like one that's the size of a man. I would say a little bit bigger than Feanor's footprints, definitely smaller than Theodric's. Kind of like a little bit in between that on kind of the bigger end, and then there is one that is around Jalen's size.
And is it going in the same direction as like we're going with my map?
Yes, generally into the city. However, Jalen, I'm gonna have you make an investigation check.
Cause I know what is investigation. Ooh, that's not good. It's a 5.
5. You look around, talking about the fact that maybe that they are just going another way, kind of a roundabout way to lose the trail. Whatever the case, you look around for any signs of any other footprints going. The only signs that you see are stale and actually have a decent amount of snowfall that have covered on top of it, which is odd because it's not snowing currently, meaning that they're relatively old. And so these are the freshest footprints that you're going to be able to find, and this is currently your probably best trail to go into the city. However, if you do want to split up and try to find different ways in, you're free to do so, or you can all just continue to follow the tracks.
That's alright, we'll follow the tracks while we can see the tracks. I think that makes sense.
Perfect. Yeah, you do so, and you can tell that they have done a really good job of learning to cover their tracks with the exception of the smaller set of footprints. These have been left skillfully placed. Every now and then a very deep footprint is set kind of by the wall where some of these snowbanks are, and the other ones you can tell have been this gentleman Arn is very light on his feet as he makes his way through basically the snow. So he skillfully does this. However, Brindle has done a decent amount of job of, leaving at some interesting turns in the road, a deep footstep. And actually, one thing I'm going to have all of you go ahead and make investigation checks for this one.
Investigation. Da-da-da.
Got me that 15.
Ooh,
Hey, 15 as well. For
nice.
them.
I'm glad you guys are rolling well, because I'm really not.
I got a 5.
Theodric,
Yeah.
what is up?
I got a 5 on the dice for a total of
He's just,
8.
he's
Okay?
just following us. He's like,
I guess.
doing his job.
The Will
Fa-
Wheaton curse is real.
Feanor and Valinith. So the one thing that Feanor has known a thing or two in his times out in the woods is not only just following foot tracks, but following which direction foot tracks turn. And Valinith, you kind of help him put 2 and 2 together, where each of the footprints and the way that they're placed, it's almost as if she's pointing you in a different direction than where you want to be going. So you do reach a certain turn where one of the footprints is completely out of step with all the other ones, and it's turned in a different direction. Just FYI.
I'm assuming this is a whole big to-do, squabbling back and forth, kind of like a Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, a little
Tracking
bit.
down the big baddie. It's nice.
A little bit.
It's nice. Feanor, this is so
Roderick
interesting.
Scooby.
Ruh-roh.
Roderick. Big brown.
It's
You
true.
hear in the distance a horse whinny.
That's
Oh,
one
Lord.
loud horse. You can hear him from the stables.
He knows when he's needed.
Yeah, so I guess Valinith and Feanor too, I'm gonna relay that back to the party. It seems odd. It seems like some of these are intentionally placed away from where I thought we would be going, where these tracks are leading. Should we follow these intentionally placed?
Well, it's just, so I will amend with the statement that I'm saying, and so these foot tracks are all the set of foot tracks keep going in the same direction. But for example, if you're going straight, there would be foot track that is placed very deeply in one of the snowbanks, like
Okay.
completely counter. And so like while this footprint was placed this way, the entire tracks keep going in the same direction.
How often were they placed like strangely?
Every single time that you pass a block, on every block.
Fëanor's gonna note the direction this foot's currently pointing. There's the step here. He's gonna try and run back to where the previous block was
Mhm.
to see if it's pointing in the same direction. Like if it's just like if they're both just at like a 45-degree angle, or if they're pointing in a certain spot.
So the one thing that you do have noticed about Broken Stone is the streets are not straight by any means. They're very circular and everything, and so you go back and you notice that they are pointing in different directions. However, the one thing that you do know is they both seem to be pointing in generally the same direction. So they're different directions based off of everything, but different direction, but the same direction. Like they're leading somewhere.
Well, as much as that we may not want to split up, it might be better for some of us to perhaps try and see. That's the difficulty. We could follow these tracks, but if this is potentially a message to try and lead us somewhere preemptively, perhaps, then we might want to take that path. But there is no guarantee we'll find the place.
I don't know. I think it's a bad idea to completely split up itself, but I do think maybe spreading out's a good way to put it. I would hate to be suddenly attacked and suddenly surprised, and all of us getting captured of any source. I don't know. I just get a bad feeling about this.
Well, I took note of the directions these two footprints are facing. We'll check the next few, and if they all seem to point in a general direction, we might see if we can cut ahead.
Valnith hides behind. Yeah, Valnith hides behind Theodric as a shield. He's just
Awesome.
like, Theodric, you are my shield.
Certainly, as long as you don't feel bad for patching me up afterwards.
You know what? That is what I'm here for, my good friend. And he just crouches behind him, still trying to keep an eye out, looking around the corners.
More or less what Fëanor's going to try and do is he's just going to see the next few times that maybe they see these steps, if it can pinpoint more, because just like having 2 points of reference that it's not concrete, it might be something, but
Right.
at the moment it would just be too foolhardy to run off on a potential clue. So
Absolutely. Jalen, what's your plan here?
I was just gonna say, Valinith,
Yes.
Theodric.
Yes, Jalen. Yes.
you have my shield to a whole other level.
Well.
Well, I'm much bigger than the rest of you, so I can take a bit more of a beating, can't I?
He is literally
Yes.
our shield.
is that a challenge?
You know what? Now's really not the time for
Squat
that.
like looking up at him.
Lord. That's true. That's true. I agree with Jalen. Let's continue on at a swift pace. I think.
Okay, so you do so. You continuously follow these foot tracks, which again are strategically placed to where relatively easy to find. You make your way down probably another 3 blocks, and the first 2 blocks you find footprints. The third block, you don't see a footprint. Well, at least not one of these deep footprints. You still see the same tracks, but you do not see a deep footprint on the third track. Do you wish to continue forward, or do you wish to go backwards?
Can I quickly make a perception check around to see if there's any like specific suspicious hideouts or anything that someone could have like snuck into?
Sure. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay.
Specifically looking for
I'm sorry. What kind of
large
perception
wooden
was that?
house with a thatched roof.
Yep, large wooden house with a thatched roof.
Good thing Valnith is good at freaking perception. That's a 14.
14. You look around and you don't see that area. In fact, Valinith, it seems like as if you are making your way actually further south than you wanted to in the city, based off of what you've seen. But you do not see anybody crouching. You do hear some noises of people inside some of the buildings that you've been passing through, but it just seems like general chatter of people. So it's not completely silent in Broken Stone, but
I relay such information and am puzzled. What do you think we should do, everyone?
We should probably go back and check the other direction that those tracks were leading.
Yes,
If
if
all-
Brindle's leaving us a clue, we would be wise to probably keep that in mind and have a look at it.
Agreed, agreed. Astute indeed. And Valinith, he goes back, I guess he goes back to the last footprint that was seen and see if he can see any new, like, information from that.
So essentially, as you make your way backwards, so we're gonna go ahead and just like leave that there. As you make your way backwards, following the trails that you previously had mentioned, and you notice that it's getting a little bit harder and harder to be able to see as you have 4 sets of footprints that are going. You've made an effort to not intentionally step over those odd footprints. But you do all see the first one you actually noticed as you ducked your way deep in here. This one, instead of going straight, it turned sideways. This one, as you made your way towards this block, instead of going straight, instead of turning, which they went down this way, it was going straight. And so you kind of triangulate the way that you've made your way a little bit further south. And the general consensus with all of these footprints is it's going to be somewhere actually up here that these footprints are directing you to. Just a little bit across from where, I guess on stream you can't really see that. So basically here as opposed to here.
Okay, Theodric turns to Jalen and goes, so what are we looking for again? A wooden house with a thatch roof?
Yeah, she said it was alongside the west wall, and there's like a small building beside it that they've turned into their own little hideout. She also mentioned something used to be a tavern or something.
Can I roll a perception check to see if I see any of this from that street?
Absolutely.
Can I
Okey-dokey.
give him advantage if I help?
You absolutely can.
Can Valinith
Yay.
sniff the ground?
No one's stopping you.
He's gonna do it.
Scooby Doo.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, even with...
Oh no.
I've
Does
got
the
Will
sniffing
Wheaton
help?
curse. The sniffing does not... I got a 3.
Oh,
I'm not...
Whoa!
Look, the real dice are coming out.
I
Valinith
thought-
distracted him with his loud sniffing. Oh yes.
That's a
That
3 with
mighty-
the advantage, by the way.
Oh my lord.
It was a nat 1 otherwise.
Oh my lord.
holy smokes.
You need the lucky necklace, man.
Yeah, really.
Roots and
what-
Theodric, your
Can Val-
vibes.
Can Valinith? Sorry, not Valinith. Bloody hell. Can Feanor please quickly check where the most foot traffic in this area kind of seems to be?
Yes, absolutely. And so there's
Even not specifically the tracks we're looking at. Just where does there seem to be the densest population?
the densest population actually
traffic.
is going to be, as far as foot traffic goes, it's going to be in this northern part of the city. You noticed that it's a little bit wider streets, and as you make your way further south, and especially southwest, the streets get narrower and narrower. And like kind of like this center here is the most dense. So you don't see a ton of footprints. You see a ton of footprints in this northern area, and you haven't really made your way south enough here, but you notice that the buildings are taller in this general area. So
Where was it that Feanor threw the net over her?
that's going to be up here.
Further up. Okay.
So like right
Okay.
in this area.
All right. I want to. Feanor's like, okay, we've been told it's near the wall. Perhaps we should cross over this, like, past the water, and start searching there. As these footprints are only going to help us so much. Potentially just finding this building on our own, and perhaps being able to keep watch on it then, will serve us better.
Yeah, that's sort of the idea. I got.
If
We
they're, especially if there's people out of the city, even if this isn't what we're assuming Brindle was leaving for us, we can't put all that pressure on just that young girl. She's doing what she can, but we're just not able to help us right now. We're better off trying to see how many people are here, how many people are coming in, and how often. if we can potentially get a hold of what was his name?
Finna?
Yeah, if we can find
Yeah.
this Finna or Arn or I don't know, what was the other one? Olaf? I don't know. I wasn't listening to you very well.
From
but-
what I understand, there are about 5 children, including Brindle, and this guy Finna.
So from the tracks that we've been following, at least 2 of them are not there at the moment. If we can get closer and there is no one there, we might be able to lay a trap of our own.
Alright. But if we're observing this house and we hear screams or yells of distress of any kind, I vote we go in.
Oh yes, kicking down the doors.
Mm.
I feel like that should be what anyone does if they hear someone potentially being attacked within a home.
See, that's more my speed, kicking indoors. All this tracking isn't really good for me.
Well,
Yeah,
Theodric,
that's why we keep Theodric around.
Theodric, if we can find this house, we can kick some butt.
Literally. Or doors. All right. So you guys are just going to continue to follow the footprints, perhaps?
We're
Or
going
just
to follow
generally
the-
look for...
the
like-
general location that
Yeah.
Jalen was given.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do...
That serves us better. I think.
You begin doubling backwards. So you guys are currently... Let's go ahead and pop Valineth here. You guys have made your way kind of into this middle southern part of the area. And so you follow your tracks back kind of more towards the northern part of Brokenstone. And you kind of see where you are, get your bearings to the wall between you and the wall. And about probably 4-ish blocks in, you're going to go ahead and take a right. As you do so, Valineth recognizes this area decently well. I'm going to have him make a investigation check, and this is going to be at advantage.
Okay, I do want to say as well, those who are unaware, we did actually add a new, this is above game to our Twitch, I did actually add a new channel point redemption reward to our stream. I know Kyle and I were talking about it for a little while. But those who are active in the chat and who are always here, and especially if you've been around and you have a lot of channel points, as one per person per stream can redeem for 25,000 sparks or channel points, hope or inspiration for any characters. So I do want to say that that's a new thing that can be.
And I will say, players that if any of you guys that are part of the stream, you can't use it for yourselves.
Oh, hey, thank you, nice lore master.
So
Hey,
you can't be like Valineth, you can't be like, I'm gonna redeem my points so I can have inspiration. You can do it for like another party member. But yes,
Keep in mind, it's 25,000.
Can I do it for you?
It's okay. I've
For
got
me?
50,000.
like a negative? No, we're not gonna do negatives.
Anyways, what do you want me
I
to
can
roll again?
reroll any dice you use against us.
No, it's not that. It's just to kind of help you guys for your checks.
Anyways, what do you want me to roll again, Kyle? With advantage?
Investigation check with advantage.
Ooh, let's hope it's good. So that one, ooh, I don't know if I'll need that, but we'll see.
You know, if you could get that 20.
Nah, it's 18.
18.
I mean, only 18.
You've made your way into this district, and based off of the general information that Jalen gave, you were able to kind of put together this picture in your head of what this area would look like. You come across what looks to be a couple buildings. One of them seems very long, almost kind of like a crudely put together longhouse with a thatched roof and wood siding. This does seem to fit the general depiction in the general area. You are unsure completely, though, if this is the exact one they're talking about, but it does seem to fit what the general description is.
Can I make a perception check
For what?
to see if I hear anything from the building?
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
I would like to check for tracks along the ground that are similar to the ones we've been following.
I got
Go ahead and make an
14.
investigation for that one. 14. So as you listen, Theodric, it's pretty quiet around here. Back towards the busier sites, You do hear every now and then the sound of kind of a voice, whether it is like a small child's like laugh. You hear some laughing a little bit ways away, but definitely within the general vicinity. And just general sounds of merriment. You don't hear anything else other than that. Jalen, your investigation.
I got a 7.
7.
because of
Yeah, there are some tracks here. Unfortunately, it's a little bit jumbled. However, you do notice that there are kind of like there's this main thoroughfare, and turning directly south. So you're heading currently east at the moment, but turning directly south down this very small alley, you do see what look to be animal footprints. Actually, what look to be maybe potentially a cat size.
Feanor, do you have your nets ready?
Always. My primary weapon, that is. No, I don't even know why I carry a spear and an axe and another axe. You know, when I could just have the net. It seems I've had 100% success rate with it so far.
Sorry, that's just an aside.
Was last night the first time you've ever used it?
Anyways,
Anyways, do we see any entrance or anything into the place? That we scoped out?
Yeah, so the building that's kind of the general description, there is an entrance. You do, as you approach it, how do you want to do it? Do you want to attempt to approach it stealthily or just kind of like casually? What's the deal here?
I think it kind of has to be stealthily, honestly, with how like on guard all these people are. Like, I think anyone just approaching the house is going to be suspicious. It doesn't matter who it is, I think. So yeah,
do there seem to be any like ruined buildings around?
Mm.
Like, does there seem to be like any like derelict buildings nearby, like within eye shot that we might be able to hold up?
Not within eye shot. You have seen a number of them throughout Brokenstone, but not within eye shot. At least during like the street that you guys currently are going down towards this building.
Who is sneaky? Valnith questions. Who wants to peek through the window?
Yeah, all right. I guess unless Jalen, you want to, I don't mind.
I think Valnith's pretty sneaky, honestly, but I don't trust him. I don't trust him. You know what? Someone who's sneaky, who doesn't have a lot of sparks to be able to use on the channel, I think is good. It's a good choice.
I actually do have a lot of sparks right now.
I
Okay.
know.
enough.
Feanor's gonna try and just like go up. He's like, all right, you guys are my backup. If anything goes wrong, Deirdre, kick the door in. Valnith, please heal me if I've been stabbed in the face. And Jalen, please offer me moral support. and he's gonna like,
I will actually offer you moral support in the form of a bardic inspiration.
oh, cool.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put my hand on your back and say, moral support given, mate. Go get him.
Okay, cool.
And so
in that
you got your nice
case,
Warden's gift dice. 1d6, I think.
Yeah,
Cool.
1d6 for the next 10 minutes.
Nice. Okay, so.
So you,
Feanor's gonna try and
you
sneak
sneak up to this building, and you like it. This is pretty long. Make a stealth check for me as you approach the closer that you get.
24. Not 20.
T4 with a nat 20.
What a
You're
stealthy boy.
you are a shadow.
Somebody's stolen all of my luck and just adding it to himself.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I
what
just
was
took
it?
the
Like,
numbers
Valnith
from
had-
your rolls. Like.
Ah, yeah. Valnith had like a what was it last session? Like 4 or 5
2 in a
nat
row.
20s.
Yeah, and I had 2 in a row twice, I think.
Disgusting.
So. Yeah.
But anyways, Feanor, you sneak up as if you are a shadow, and you make your way towards the side of this building. You notice that this building actually large. You peek into the first window that you see, and there are no lights that are on inside. However, there is a very obvious smell that there is some kind of livestock that lives in here. It doesn't take long for your eyes to adjust as you're used to the dark, and you see that this kind of portion of this long place has been remodeled somewhat, very crudely done to be a stable, and inside there is a pony and 2 goats. They are there, and basically you don't see any other signs of life. You kind of sneak your way around towards the front area, where you see kind of like these bar doors that have been roughly made and put into place. These are closed, and there are no windows from the outside. This building kind of forms an L shape too, and so you make your way over to kind of like the L curve of it. And there are 2 windows that are there, and you can see that there is actually a faint light, a faint glow coming from within one of the windows, and there is actually a door that is shut as well. These windows don't have basically, well, at least they're not closed. There's no shutters currently closed on them, so they are open.
Okay. Feanor is going to pick up. Is there any rocks on the ground?
Oh yeah, you can dig through this. So there are actually a decent number of like rocks, small pebbles, and even actually broken pieces of wood. As you notice that you make your way along kind of this L curve, and even the side kind of towards like the back of it. But you haven't made your way in the back, but kind of the side and like the L curve. There are a number of kind of like rotting barrels, broken like crates. Just you can tell like these people aren't very good with keeping things clean. And you can smell kind of the hint whiff of mixed kind of with the livestock of like some like a rotting food or something.
Okay. So I'm at the end of like the L shape.
Yes.
Sitting near a window, right? Okay.
Mhm.
And the door is like
Just to the left of it.
Just off to the left.
Just off to the left.
I want to like lean and throw a couple of rocks like at the front door hard enough, almost like someone's knocking or something, not just like a breeze in the wind, like pretty solid. But then I want to like be peeking through the window to see who's in the house.
Mm-hmm. So you do so, and for a moment, you don't hear any immediate noises. And then all of a sudden, you hear kind of like a grunting, like, and you hear the sound of someone kind of like this sound, like someone get off of you, whether a bed or a chair. And as you peek into the window, you can see that it is an elderly gentleman. And there is what looks to be a elderly woman beside him, basically laying in bed. And he gets up and says, "Oi, don't get your panties in a bunch." And then he goes, and you can see that he walks over next to his fireplace, and he basically grabs a fire poker. And he kind of like stashes it kind of like somewhere on his body as he slowly kind of hobbles his way towards the door. "I told ya, I don't have anything for ya. You've cleaned me out." As he opens the door like a creak. And he peeks out, and he doesn't see anybody immediately there, as you are being so stealthy right now. So,
is the window open or closed?
open.
Can I enter through the window?
Sure, you can. What is your intentions here? As you do so, you don't have to make any checks. You can just easily climb in.
Yeah. I want like Feanor wants to more or less come up behind him and say, "I'd like to have a chat."
Good gracious! And then he immediately swings the fire poker just like at you. I'm gonna have you make a dexterity saving throw for me. I mean, it's not super fast. He's an elderly man, so.
Yeah. A 15.
15. You easily dodge out of the way as he kind of like stumbles around to like face you. Just says, "What are you doing here, thief? I told you I don't have anything for you to take. You've cleaned us out, I say." And then he begins to kind of stumble forward as he's about to lunge at you with this fire poker.
Yeah, I just want to like kind of grab the hand that's got the fire poker in it, like, "Old man, if I wanted to hurt you, you would be hurt. I'm just trying to help a young girl."
And as this happens, the old woman, she kind of is just like, "What's going on? Oh goodness!" And she kind of like as tenderly as her like brittle bones will allow her to, as quickly
Yeah.
she
Feanor
like,
turns and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I just came by to have a chat. Nothing's wrong here. We're actually just about to sit down at the table and have a little discussion. Don't worry, no one's getting hurt here. You can go back to bed."
"Herb, do you think you'll be okay?" And she like
Actually,
nervously.
I let go of his hand and everything, and I kind of like gesture to the table. So he's still
Hey.
got his fire poker. I haven't taken it from him.
Yeah, he still has it. He kind of has it like kind of somewhat pointed at you and says, "Hey, you have a point." And he is kind of slowly, and he like pulls like a chair out for him to like sit, and he like gestures you over to the other side. What are all of you guys doing during this?
He's just seeing me go thunk, and dive into a window.
So actually, they don't see that. So the way that the street is it's completely straight, and you are able to peek into the window directly on the right side, where the animals are. But then you take an immediate right, and there's kind of like a carve out where like this L shape cutout is. And so like technically, unless they were following you, which if they were, I'm gonna have them make stealth checks too. Then they have no idea where you went. I will have the three of you make perception checks to see if you can hear.
Valinith saw that Feanor picked up a rock, and he attempted.
You did not see
slightly-
that he picked up the rock.
Never mind then. I thought he was gonna stand in front of Jalen so she didn't have to see the rock.
I got
Anyways,
a 4 for my perception check.
Okay.
Are these your real dice?
No, these are still. I'm still
Oh
using
my-
the random
oh
number
my
generator
lord.
because
Come on now.
those can be verified by all of you.
Actually, sorry, I don't, this is like out of character. Maybe after the stream, just spam like 100 of them, like genuinely, see what all the results are, and you can actually see roughly where it's weighing towards, if there is an issue. Because sometimes having fast or slow internet connection can mess with dice rolls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure too much about D&D Beyond, but it has happened on other random dice generators.
It's good to know.
Valinith got a 21.
21. Oh, you hear everything that's happening, and you even so much so like you can hear every single word, every single breath that's happening.
Even the old woman.
Even the old woman. Yes.
It's good. It's what I'm there for.
I love
I
it.
like it.
Theodric
Still not good.
7. It's not
Still
too-
not good.
That was an accident. I'm just like, maybe I can just use this dice roller.
Yeah,
instead of
absolutely.
The D&D Beyond one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally fine if you guys want to use this dice roller. It's what it's here for. So, but Feanor, yes. So you do hear this, Valinith. If you want to do anything, feel free to.
I relay the information. He's interacting with people. It sounds like an old man, an old woman. Is this the right house? Are we sure we're at the right place? Valinith is very confused with what's going on.
Okay.
Oh god, we're all going to jail.
Feanor.
Just let him do his thing for now, I think.
Thank you for, I know like it was a bit of a surprise me already being in here, but the people that I am trying to find and deal with are a dangerous lot, and it sounds like you've had your fair share of interactions with them as well.
So you're searching. Wait a second. And he looks at you up and down as if trying to identify who you are. Don't tell me. You're that individual from the melee. The elf, right?
There were two of us, but yes, I am one of them. I am.
See? I told you they would be making their way here and they would save us from these horrible people. Tell me. You said you're searching for people.
Yes.
Perhaps
May I ask your
we're...
name, sir?
Yes.
Might make this a little more comfortable, and if you could please put the fire poker down now that you know who I am.
Oh, yes, of course. And he basically leans it up against the side. The name is Herb. I've owned this here farm for probably the last 8 months or so. First winter here, I've converted it. It used to be an old tavern or something. But I converted it into some makeshift home before my wife and I are actually going to be able to move in to our niece and nephew's place. They have a place not too far from here, but out of Brokenstone, that is. Oh, I'm you don't want to be hearing anything about this, but there have been a group of youngsters that have been stealing from us. Not too long ago, we had a chicken go missing and some eggs here and there. But also, they've been stealing blankets from us. They've been stealing all sorts of things. Let me tell you, they're a dangerous sort. One time I tried to catch them, and they're too quick for me, but They held a dagger up to my throat. They said if I said anything, told anybody, they said that they would be back. And they're always around. Always listening. And he's like grumbling to himself.
Have you happened to run into a young girl with short brown, like with curly brown hair? Was it?
Yeah, kind of like somewhat matted, but yeah, kind of curlyish brown hair.
Yeah, like with like curly brown hair, perhaps.
He thinks, can't say that I've. They tend to black out their eyes. They wear hoods that drop below, but they're one of them. Their voice was that of a young girl.
Well, it is this young girl that I am trying to help.
You should be helping me. These people are thieves, clearly. We barely have enough to get by, and we're just even here temporarily, and we are being preyed upon, I tell you. And he's like quite upset about this. At this point, his voice is basically booming. Every one of you, Jalen, Valineth, and Theodric, can hear that something's going on. Not necessarily exactly what he's saying, but you can hear that there is an old man kind of yelling. Vaynor.
Well, is there any because the info that we got basically was Brindle saying that they were operating out of this house?
Basically, like she said that there was a longhouse that used to be a tavern or something. Then they have like a little hideout in like a little hut next to it. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
That's exactly what.
Aha.
I'm just gonna have to ask you to keep your voice down, because I don't think it'll do well for either of us if these hooligans, these ruffians, these thieves, know that we're having this discussion.
I would agree. You can tell, like, he's pretty gruff, and he drops his voice a little bit. But he has to lean in order to hear you, as he's, you can tell that he is losing his hearing a little bit, so controlling his voice is a little bit difficult. However, he does try to do so, and he says, between us, I wouldn't be saying anything if you weren't who you were. I know what you've done. You were able to stand up against even the captain of the guard himself.
Elstan, yes.
Yes.
Yes, a mighty blows. It's a worthy man to run the city guard.
Yes.
We actually have, you are right, we have come over to this side of the city, not just to help this girl, as I'm saying, but we've already spoken to the city guard. So the city guard is also getting involved. We just want to gain some more intelligence about where these youngsters might be and who they've been interacting with.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
You still have your d6 if you needed to.
I might roll the d6 as well, just to be safe.
Yeah, well, I mean, you only have it for like.
So
8
14.
minutes.
14. I've perhaps already said too much, but if what you say is true, and if you can get rid of them before they're able to get to us, this might fix our problem. Not too long ago, when we moved in here, we realized that our shed out back I guess technically it is part of our property, but we don't need it clearly. As we are only here temporarily, we have noticed that there have been people's voices coming from within. And it wasn't long after that it was, we've started noticing some of our belongings gone missing. It's been a little bit since we've, other than the stealing of our chicken, perhaps, it's been a little bit since they've preyed upon us. It seems like they've gone farther and wider, but I do shudder at the fact thinking that it is those hooligans that are holed up back there. Obviously, I'm not strong enough to be able to shoo them out. There's quite a number of them.
Is there anyone there tonight? Have you heard any voices?
Hell would I know! And he says this very noisily, and it's just very kind of irritated and wanting to be just get rid of them. I don't know if it's them. It could be a pack of dogs. I have no idea.
The reason I asked you is because you were able to hear when some rocks hit your front door.
Those are pretty heavy, wait. You threw rocks at my front door.
How else do you think I got into your home? I would recommend closing the windows, and locking the door at night. It might
Well,
be
you
more stuffy
see,
in here.
my wife, she gets hot flashes at night, even in the dead of winter, and then he just begins on going down this whole spiel about like his health and like all this shenanigans. But yes,
Well, Herb, if what you say is true, when have you seen them the most often? Are they generally here during the day?
during the day and during the evening hours, most likely. But in the middle of the night, no.
Because think about it, if you can help me a bit here, the guards and me and my compatriots can come in here and rip them out root and stem. Make this place a little bit safer for your, as you said, temporary time here.
Wise words coming from you, Master Elf. I would say, though, how can I be for certain that you can do such things? They seem to be eluding everybody that comes. Couple times a week, guards come through here. They've even come asking questions. No matter what I tell them, they're always gone. Even if they are hiding in the back house, the guards always claim that there's no one back there. They think I'm crazy old cute herb.
Well, Herb, do I look like a city guard?
No.
Do I look like your standard elf? No, I do not. I wear the clothes of men and dwarves. I am more likely to understand your plight, having been someone who has lived in poverty for a lot of my time out there, out in the woods, out in the wilds. I understand the need to feel safe in your own home. You'd feel safer. You would be safer, and your wife would be safer. That alone is enough motivation for me to try and help you. I'm actually gonna he's actually gonna reach into his pack and take out some of the rations that he has, and 2 silver pieces. Try and hide these. You've been a great help. I'll try and use the information that you've given me. Stay quiet. Hide these well. Believe me, thieves will look in shoes. They'll look in your bedside drawers. Find somewhere, put the silver in the hay. Put it in with your horses, like with that pony. Hide it somewhere. Have the food tonight and in the morning.
He
Like I
looks
said-
he looks at it as if almost like timid to grab it. He immediately takes the silver. Well, and then he thinks about it. He takes the silver pieces, and then he pushes the rations back towards you. I appreciate it, Master Elf, but I am not a charity case. Here, take these.
No,
I'll take this.
You've performed a service. You are an informant. This isn't a charity. I wouldn't deem to insult you.
Make a
You
persuasion
gave me
check.
valuable information.
I love this. Making it.
What? I got a
Nat
0.
0. You see, I've had enough people coming through here telling me what I should and shouldn't do with my own property. I just want the business to be done. Here. He basically puts the rations towards you. He takes the silver pieces, and he does exactly that. He actually turns around, and he pulls out a drawer. And inside the drawer is a small box, to which he takes it out, and he adds the 2 coins to the box. And then he walks over actually to the corner, under basically like a pile of dirty clothes, and he puts the small box underneath the pile of dirty clothes. There. These stink enough for anybody to not want to go searching through there.
Well, Herb, I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. I'm sorry for disturbing you while you seem to be sleeping.
Yes. No worries. We just settled down, and we were talking about our life together, and he begins to go down. But anyways, if there's anything that I have to say to you, check out back. I haven't heard any noises there tonight, but perhaps, fate would shine upon us that this would be able to help us out. But if anybody asks, we said nothing.
Oh, Herb, I don't even know you. And I'm going to open the door and close it behind me.
Perfect. Cool.
Okay, cool. And I'm just going to head back over to the group.
So, Feanor That what happened?
Oh, I spoke to a nice old man, quite loud. You know, he didn't really understand the need for, to be subtle. But yeah, apparently, the thieves live in the shed out back.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
apparently some of their stuff's gone missing. He seemed quite irate when I went into the house.
I mean,
But
yeah.
he
Oh,
calmed down
breaking and
pretty
entering
quickly.
Speaking of which,
Oh.
Feanor, you gain automatically 2 points of shadow for breaking and entering.
Oh, damn.
Just FYI, for those who don't know, this
This ain't your
game.
kid's D&D game.
Yeah, no, there's basically you gain points of shadow for misdeeds. And those are automatic. And so misdeeds can lead to really bad things. And so it's kind of like a morally based game. But then there's obviously other things like going through like blighted lands and like encountering the shadow that like you have to roll to gain points of shadow. You can resist those. But like doing something like pickpocketing someone, stealing something off of somebody, beating someone near death that is like innocent or something, or that kind of stuff like gives you points of
How
shadow.
do we lose points of shadow?
So there are a couple of ways to do it during the adventure or the fellowship phase. You can actually take on the undertaking to lose points of shadow, and then basically what that ends up happening is you can choose a number of things. You can like go home and like visit people depending on how long the holiday is, and basically you go home and like you like rest to get rid of like the shadow. You can actually, with some of, I think Valinith eventually unlocks something to allow you to get rid of shadow, so the scholar can do that. And then there's actually like an herb that allows you to lose shadow. It's like once per year you can remove 1 point of shadow. Essentially, the way that the shadow system works in this game is you build up shadow points until your wisdom score. And once you built up to your wisdom score, you go into a fit of madness. Each one of your classes, so the Slayer, the Scholar, and the Warden, all have their own shadow weaknesses. And what ends up happening is once you hit that point, basically your maximum points of wisdom and shadow, you reset at 1. But you essentially take on traits of your shadow weakness, and that can go up to 4 times. And then basically from, I think for Feanor and Theodric, you guys are, I'm going to have to look that up real quickly. But essentially it's like,
Where do I put that on my thing? Do I just make a note of it?
yeah, go ahead and make a note in your notes section. Just say you have 2 points of shadow, and then
That's
just...
all good. I just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm. But essentially, like, you
Okay.
gain, like, certain things and, like, certain qualities. Like, you start to fall kind of more and more towards the shadow. And so the whole purpose is, like, you have technically a lot of shadow that you can accumulate over time, and it's very difficult to get rid of points of shadow because of that.
I just actually want to ask, because last time I got a thing that makes me critically succeed the first time I take a point of shadow. That doesn't apply to this.
That does apply to this.
That does
No,
apply
it
to this.
doesn't.
Oh, no. So
No, because that's not.
So
in, like,
technically,
context of, like,
technically, it
misdeed.
doesn't apply to this because this is a misdeed.
Yeah.
It's only
Yes.
like an
Just
encounter.
wanted to check.
Mm.
Just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Even though technically you didn't break anything, you've only entered.
Yeah, it's true. Just entering without permission. Yes, exactly. 1 second while I kind
Ooh,
of...
Valanash is looking at his book. He's looking at his book real good.
Yeah, he is.
He is, though.
Give me 1 second, guys. Talk amongst yourselves and discuss Feanor. What you...
He is currently in the bathroom being sick.
Being sick?
Yeah.
Yeah,
throwing up
he feels
apparently.
bad, man.
Oh my gosh. That's rough.
He's going through it tonight. I feel bad.
Oh, Valinith doesn't look too good. No.
Mm.
You're looking a little green there.
All right, so Feanor and Theodric, your guys' shadow weakness is Curse of Vengeance. And then the shadow weakness for you, Jalen, is going to be the Lure of Power. Which essentially what those are, let me go ahead and jump to the section of shadow weaknesses.
I just gotta quickly check. That would be like if my wisdom's a 12 in total. If I get 12, that's when the shadow.
Yes, so you gain that first point of shadow weakness. And then
Yeah, this
once you get to that, you actually can't remove it. And so basically your score resets at 0, your shadow score, and then you continuously build up.
I'm back.
Hey.
I brought someone with me. There is.
She's gone already.
There
Are
is
you okay, dude?
You brought
He
someone
seems
with
to
you?
have heard. Sorry,
There's.
book's
there is-
already gone.
I'm Valineth. I'm not
Book's
Dain,
already
unfortunately.
gone.
There was
was in here for
there
2
was a
seconds,
person
and then
spying on
left.
us in the alley. They were reading a book.
Smelled my plan.
They were reading a book.
Oh.
Uh,
And as this
take care of
person
it.
peeked
I'll
around
be
the corner,
back.
they saw like the sketchiness that was happening, and they took one move away. Especially as this old man was shouting, as they begin to walk away, and a note drops out of the book that they are reading, and it says, circled, it's a to-do list, and circled on that to-do list is prepare a birthday cake, for today is my birthday. Together. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bookish. Happy birthday to you.
oh, that
Happy
was
birthday,
beautiful.
Bookish.
I love
Probably the
the note in
worst
chat.
rendition of that song I've ever done.
Also, the
yeah.
worst timing because she's gone and has been for the last 2
She
minutes.
knew. She smelled the plan.
She smelt it. She knew.
She
Well,
She rolled a
knew.
just
nat
tell her-
20 on
just-
perception.
Just tell her to watch this again, and she'll figure it out exactly how far into this are we. Exactly 1 minute and or 1 hour and 31 minutes into it.
Oh, thanks.
Anyways, Curse of Vengeance. Basically, Feanor and Theodric, you become spiteful when you gain 1 point, and then certain things essentially happen from that. At 1 point for Lure of Power, you get resentful, so you start to become more resentful as a person, so your personality actually kind of starts to change. I believe the Lure of Secrets is what Valinus is, and he becomes haughty. And essentially, so for the Curse of Vengeance, at the 1, you become spiteful. 2, if you gain 2, you become brutal. 3, you become cruel. And then 4, you become murderous. And so you become like almost like evil. Well, everyone kind of becomes evil as they fall to shadow. For the Lure of Power, so Jalen, you become resentful, then arrogant, then overconfident, and then tyrannical. And then for Lure of Secrets, which is Valineth, he becomes haughty, then scornful, then scheming, then treacherous. And so, yeah, it's not fun. So kind of a quick detour for all of that. But we're back. We're back with Feanor. You come out and you tell everybody what's going on about this house in the back.
Yeah, that when I was talking to him, the old man's name is Herb, by the way. He said that the guards have come through here and he's answered questions about it before, but they've never really been able to get it. Is that similar to what you guys said? You mentioned you talked to the guards, but
Yes, they've never been able to really do anything about it. The thieves have been too fast for them. Too fast, too sneaky.
yes.
So they're quite pleased to have our help in this matter.
Well, hopefully we're able to actually accomplish our goals then.
Correct.
I think I don't know about you guys, but I think the going is here is just observe for a minute.
Well, from the sounds of things, he was saying that they're generally not here at night. Generally during the mornings and the evenings.
Well, here's the thing. All right.
So technically, it's still kind of early-ish evening. So it was 8 when all that happened. By the time you've made your way here, it's probably like 9 to 10. So it's not late into the night. Just FYI.
She did say that she needed to be somewhere by midnight. So maybe if we listen, we might hear something.
I don't know, wasn't our plan to get here first so we could set an ambush?
Well, so we could observe. So that might be just what we need to do. Maybe we just
Yeah,
need-
I get the feeling if we rush in the back shed, we're not gonna find much.
Yes, but
So
then we wait for
maybe-
them and then they arrive and then we huzzah! And do the stabby and everything.
We do a huzzah, yes.
I think we should wait at least for a little while.
Let's try and let's see if we can. Is there anywhere nearby that doesn't look too like suspicious? To be
Well,
loitering around?
the nice thing is everything here is pretty eclectic. There's a decent amount of rubbish that's kind of out like within the streets. The one area, the way to get back to the kind of the backyard area, is throughout that path that you saw, which looked like there were cat footprints that went there. But upon further investigation, you only see that it is animal footprints. You don't see human footprints going back behind there. But from what you can tell, there's only one way in and one way out, and it is through this small alley. You can attempt to hide like amongst some of the rubbish that's through. You can try to hide like down some of kind of the alleyways that there are, or you could attempt to try to go back behind this place and investigate what's behind there, just to kind of get your bearings.
Well, look, I think potentially my first idea was that I wait in the alley but appear as like a vagrant. Someone sleeping amongst the trash and, like, you know, amongst the rubble. Further down, but obviously within eyesight. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Because then if we position ourselves around, but then there's no real way for us to contact each other without alerting them that someone's nearby.
From what Brindle told me, this area is generally considered to not be a very safe part of town, so vagrants might not necessarily find it a good idea to sleep near here. So that's something to consider. Not saying you can't do your idea, I'm just
No, it's a good thing to keep in mind. Generally, the
giving you...
people who are most down on their luck are the ones who know the underbelly of the city the best, so...
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna do a little quick investigation. I'll be right back. Can I do the investigation at the back of the house thing?
Yeah, so go down towards the alley, like that area.
Yep.
Follow the footprints. Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check as you do so.
Okay. Can I also do it stealthily?
I'm gonna have you first, as you approach, make your stealth check, and then you're gonna make your investigation check.
Huzzah. 16 for the stealth.
Yep. So you're able to do pretty quietly. The nice thing is the snow is relatively melted, so there's not a lot of crunching that's going back here. But your investigation.
That was a natural one.
Natural one.
Yeah, for a total of
I'm
3.
gonna give her a thing.
What?
A inspiration. Let me redeem it.
Aw, you're so sweet.
Use them channel points. Way to survive,
I
Ellen.
mean, I have infinite of them, so it's all good.
Oh!
Oh, that's unfair.
Oh!
Okay,
Yes, so
so
go
that-
ahead and roll advantage on that.
You know what? That doubled the score, so it went from a 3 to a 6. So
Hey.
Three.
So you look, and it is not a natural one, so that's good. And you see that there are these footprints of what you can tell are a cat. As you it's probably about like a 10-foot alley before it opens up into kind of like a dark back area, and you hear something moving around amongst the trash back there.
Okay, I would like to get a closer look at this trash heap.
And so you do.
Out pops a bin chicken. Surprise!
Oh my
How's it going? So you do, and as you peer
The real
down,
ones, though.
yeah, bin chickens, I love it. And as you peer down this alleyway, so you come from this direction, this general direction, Jalen, and as you kind of peer down this alleyway. So essentially everyone else is kind of in this area, and this is the front area with the kind of L shape. And so back around here is the general house, and you peer around this alleyway and you see you hear something rustling kind of in this general direction over here.
I will sneak across.
With that 16, I'm going to allow you to do so without making much noise. And you
There's not much
see,
cover, so I don't know how.
yeah, you see
like,
peering in what looks to be a basically a mangy dog, actually. And he looks at you as he kind of like backs into the corner.
Okay.
How are you wishing to approach, if you wish to do so?
instantly backing off. And doing like the dog sign, like body language with like
Mm-hmm.
you turn your side towards him, look away, and crouch down to make yourself seem smaller.
Yep. Go ahead and
That's
make a animal handling check for me.
Yeah. My backup plan is going to be feeding him food. So
All right.
this is. We'll see how this goes. Jack of all trades. That was a natural 20 for a 22.
It goes, and it begins to start making its way actually down through here. This entire building here, which is the building that Feanor had made his way in earlier, has no windows or anything, just a bunch of trash that comes out along the side. Begins to make his way, and he starts digging through this pile of trash back here. He does not seem to be aggressive towards you anymore. You can wish to follow if you want to do so.
Yep, and I will also hold out some food.
Okay.
Do I have any food?
If you have rations on you,
Yeah.
You can go ahead
Beef
and
jerky or something? Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of follow him over to this area, and as you walked through around here, outside of kind of the alley area, there is a door that's right here, a window that is closed right here, and as you make your way to the back here, you see that there's this pile of an assortment of things, essentially discarded everything. Including like worn out pairs of boots, from like food scraps and all kinds of an assortment of things. And you see that there's actually over in this area a window that is open.
Okay.
You hold out this food to the dog, and it turns around and it just kind of whimpers a little bit. And it like kind of slowly begins to creep up to you in order to grab it. It reaches out its mouth. I'm going to have you make another animal handling check for me.
Okay.
This is going to be with advantage because of your last one.
Oh, sweet.
Natural 20s are nice.
Yeah, they really are. 13 and a 16. 16.
16. The dog approaches, and it, like, with the very tips of its teeth, it grabs it and essentially runs back down in kind of this general direction and begins just kind of chewing on it. But it does leave you be, and it does so without actually making noise, too much noise at all. So you are completely hidden if you wish to be. So
Fabulous.
cool.
Okay, so where are the others? They're back up the alley.
They're still back up the alley, so they're way back up in this direction.
Okay, cool. Alright, I'm gonna sneak back to the group. Oh, can I try and cover my tracks too?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not going to have you make any checks. You just do that as you sneakily make your way
Cool.
back out in that direction.
Yeah, because, like, dead giveaway. Cool. Right, so there's a couple of doors. There is an open window and a trash heap.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there's a couple of trash heaps. But
Couple
there's, like,
trash
one
heaps back here.
really big one that's just
Mhm.
got discarded everything. Cool. I think we could get in through the window, but I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, so I think we just need to wait this one out. Potentially get up on a roof to have a vantage point or something. What do we think?
If there's only one way in and one way out, then we just need to be up to make sure.
Seemingly.
Well, yes. If there's only one way in and one way out, and then there seems to be evidence that they're getting in, then we can start looking for another option. But for now, I think play with the cards we're dealt.
Yeah.
So we just need to hole up somewhere where we can see the entrance.
Yeah. That sounds like a good idea. Also, there's a dog down there. Can be aggressive if you approach it, but likes food. So
Oh, keep that in mind.
just yeah, if you're going down that way.
Okay. Okay, so let's look for some place where we can sneakily keep an eye on the entrance to this hideout.
Yep. Can we have a look around for that? For like somewhere that seems like we'll be able to settle up before, like for this when this happens.
Yes. And so all of you make your way into kind of like this little alley back area. And there are a number of places that could potentially serve to be useful. I'm going to have each of you make investigation checks as you look for like maybe the best possible places, vantage points to keep you hidden, but also allow you to have eyes on the place.
Or what role was that, sir?
Investigation as you look around for that.
That's my highest roll all day. I got a 16.
Hey.
I got a 14.
Okay.
That's literally so dumb. The dice rolled over where, like, the thing pops up on the screen. What did I get? I get a 13?
13. Okay.
Okay.
And for the sake of Valinith,
Valineth rolled an 8.
Yeah.
8. All right. We're going to go ahead and so immediately, Jalen, one place that looks pretty good to you is down here in this alley. One thing that does come to mind is if there is anybody in there and if there is anybody going in, being able to cover your bases by this exit over here and remaining hidden, you can see if anybody's trying to sneak in or out in this direction. So if you want to be here, that's a way to do it. One way is there's actually a barrel here that you can climb into if you wish to do so.
Yes, I would like to be in a barrel, please.
Perfect. Theodric, actually, so your kind of thoughts, you investigate this building over here and you see that part of the wall has gone to ruin. This building, as you peer in, is largely abandoned. And there is a kind of like a crumbling port for you to be able to, if you wish so, be able to squeeze in and keep an eye inside.
Yes, I will do that. Are there any large crates around?
There are. I mean, there are a number of large crates that are within the area and inside, actually.
What would I have to inside?
Yeah,
what
inside.
would I have to roll to climb under a crate like Solid Snake?
You could just do that.
I'm gonna do that.
Feel free to just do that.
I'm just gonna toss a crate over the top of me like Solid Snake.
Inside or outside?
Just on the outside, like maybe like just here where this one already is.
Perfect. So you're gonna
see if I can just watch the entrance through a crack in the crate or something.
Perfect. Feanor, actually one thing that is interesting to you is you notice like on the side here that there are a number of bricks that are outward protruding that would give anybody easy climbing distance to get up on top of the roof. This is somewhere that could be good, especially if you're hiding on the backside. No one would be able to see from there if you wish to do so.
Yeah, why not? Cover our bases. I also provide like a decent lookout.
Mm-hmm.
Like from the surrounding area then.
Valineth, on the other hand, doesn't really find anywhere that is too good, and he kind of looks around and asks, like, "What do you guys think?" Like, clearly there's a lot of rubbish, but it's kind of like broken to pieces. And if he goes further back this way, he is in danger of further provoking the animal.
Just climb in. Like I just gesture towards the gap in the wall that you were talking about before. Just, like, you can fit in there.
And he does so. And actually, he fits in here much easier than you do, Theodric, especially because he's wearing kind of leather armor. He is able to actually do so without very little sound. So that's good as you guys hide. You settle in for a bit. And you begin to listen around, and you don't hear anything too much out of the ordinary. You can tell that the dog has kind of finished its meal, per se, and has walked to and from here a little bit. Jalen, you see that it kind of makes its way halfway out here, and it looks and it kind of sniffs the air and makes its way over here and lays down kind of right here for a little bit. All of you, I'm going to have, for this first hour that you guys are waiting, I'm going to have you make perception checks for me.
I got a 16.
16.
Ooh, very nice. It is a math 20.
Hey. And then Feanor and Valineth as well. Perception.
I just realised I was still muted. Just let me double check. Valineth got a 22. I got a 17.
Okay, all right. And so you, as you guys wait, you hear that there are a number of people that pass by, and it out on the main street, not anybody that comes within back here. And some of them are kind of just like talking about the meals that they've had, and generally like, you know, what there is to do on a night like this. A lot of them say, I don't really have the coin to be able to go to like the missing scale, but I hear that there's a bar not too far from here. And so here's the general chit chat as people going by, but you are all actually hidden well enough for none of them to be able to notice you. However, both Jalen and Feanor, you notice that there is actually not Feanor, Jalen and Valineth. You notice that there is a small sound of shuffling in the snow coming from this general direction, pretty much due west.
Sorry, is Jalen by Valineth?
No, so
Currently?
Jalen's back here. She's unable to see anything, and technically you're inside a building as well, Valineth. And so all you can do is hear this general area over here.
Okay. Theodric's by him though, right?
Yes,
I'm in a
Theodric's in this
crate.
crate.
Okay. Valineth kind of whispers in a low voice, Do you hear that rustling, Theodric?
I'm going to have you make a stealth check as you do this.
Stealth, he said?
Mm-hmm.
What did I miss? What's he doing?
He's making a stealth check to to
15.
talk to Theodric. 15. You do so quietly.
And kind of he peers out from the building, like, and sees if he can see anything in the direction of the Russell Crowe.
You do so, and there's a number of crates that are there, and you see what looks to be a shadowed figure. It's gotten dark at this point. The moon is out. It's somewhat obscured by the clouds, but it's gotten pretty dark. Jalen, one thing that you notice is the dog that is currently right here has got up and actually peeked its head up and has started whining, actually.
Valineth keeps an eye on the shadow figure and makes the Theodric aware of it as well, even if he can't see it.
The figure grows closer and closer, and without much time, you see that it is the size of a full-grown adult, and they kind of look from side to side. They actually check these crates that are over here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The crate checking.
They check the crates that are over here, and they make their way over here, and they kind of like hunch themselves up against the wall right here.
Can I make out who they are?
You peek out your crate, and you see that it is actually someone who you just barely recognize underneath basically the hood. This actually looks to be Arn from before. And he's just like sat up. He has a pipe, and he has begun trying to strike basically his flint in order to get his pipe to start lighting.
Okay. He is way too close for me to be able to whisper to Valineth
Yes.
and not alert him. Okay, well, Theodric, can I make eye contact with any of my party members from where I am? Or
The
it's
only
too-
one,
way too dark,
the
right?
only one potentially would be Feanor, but Feanor does have basically night vision, so he would be able to see if he was looking for it. Feanor, you didn't hear this, so you don't know to look up and check. However, I'm going to have you make a perception check as he makes his way, and this is going to be a sense of smell check.
Only a 6.
6. You can tell that fires from all around are being lit. And actually, as you're up on this roof, you see that it's a very different view of Dale from what you're used to. As you can see... Oh, snap. No. You can see the wall kind of in this general eastern direction, but like the city itself rise up, and you see the Lonely Mountain rising up, and you're somewhat distracted for a little bit, but you haven't quite noticed that this basically Arn has come and like has sat down. What do you, Theodric? You're the only one. Well, you and actually Valineth is aware of this. I would say Valineth knows exactly what's going on with somebody coming, sitting down right in front of where he's hiding. So the two of you are aware of this. Jalen, you suspect something's up because you see the whimpering dog.
Okay, Theodric sees him and thinks he's clearly waiting for someone.
Mm.
So it's probably best to just keep waiting to see if, like Brendel or, what's his name, Finnar arrive to talk to him.
Yeah, Valineth thinks what's going through his head is, Theodric actually has a better vantage point of this guy, so Valineth's gonna move when Theodric's gonna move. That's what's going through his mind. So,
Okay.
if something does happen.
Yeah, you see that Arn, he sits there waiting for a little bit, and he puts his dagger, and he kind of takes it out as he's smoking in one hand. Takes the dagger and begins actually tracing, kind of like shaving off like a little bit of like the crate beside, kind of like out of boredom. He's turned kind of away from both Valineth and Theodric, so he's kind of like turned to the side, like shaving off like pieces of like small pieces of wood. And he's just like humming to himself. Hasn't said anything else beyond that. Jalen, what do you want to do that you've noticed that this dog is whimpering?
I'm just gonna keep watching the dog.
Okay. The dog has peeked up its head and it's actually sat up at this point, and it looks over in this general direction. And you can just make out the sound of humming coming from this general direction. You are now aware of this happening.
Yes, I'm just gonna quietly get ready to move if I need to.
Valineth
raises the
recalls the
alarm.
tune and he's thinking to himself, man, I remember when Gandalf used to hum that tune. And he's jamming along in the background inside the doorway along with the tune. Slow jamming.
How long do you wish to wait? He is essentially just hanging out here, just continuously shaving off. Every now and then he kind of looks at like his blade, and then he peers up, and definitely Theodric sees this. He keeps peering up and looking at the door that's directly across. He sees the dog and he clicks over. He's like, "Come here, boy. Come here." The dog doesn't move. If anything, it looks back in this general direction.
I've made a lifelong friend with that dog.
Oh no. Are we going to be breaking our cover to protect the dog?
It would be the morally correct thing to do.
Feanor, you're now aware of this, everything that's happening. You've heard them.
Nice.
Yeah.
What time is it? Is it just getting darker? It's
Yeah, so it's already dark. It is kind of the end of winter, and it's probably around 9:30 or 10 at this point.
Yeah, okay.
And it's pretty cold.
As far as we know, is Arn the only one who's here?
As far as you know.
Yes. As far as we know, he's the first to arrive.
Yeah, there's no like chimney or anything on this because it's just like a shed, isn't it?
Correct.
Like, yeah. I just want to double check that there wasn't any like smoke.
I'm gonna say we just keep waiting for Brindle or Finnar or
we could
Yep.
just,
grab
you
him.
know, grab him and not necessarily kidnap him or anything, or try to get some information out of him, especially if he's the only one here. That might be a good opportunity.
Grabbing. I'm going to imagine we're retroactively having this discussion from beforehand. Talking about our plan, just because.
Well, I mean, Valneth's not going to move until Theodric moves. I'm just talking about
Yeah.
my own thought
Yeah.
process behind it. So.
Basically, I would imagine that we're not going to just spring out when there's only one person here. We're going to try and
Yeah.
catch as many of them as possible. And like if Finnar shows up, bam, instantly. Like that's the
Yeah.
guy we know at the
That's
moment
the
who's
big guy.
running it.
Yeah, that's the one
So-
we want.
So
But
From there,
getting this guy at the moment by himself doesn't
Not
offer me-
really. Yeah.
If
It
there's
could-
like 2 or 3 people here, maybe that would really be within our.
it could help silence him though, like at the same time, like strength in numbers, you know. If
Yeah.
There's multiple of
I
them.
don't know. We'll keep waiting.
guess.
Now.
Okay. I mean, yeah, Valneth's not gonna move, so.
I mean, okay. Assuming that we had this conversation beforehand, Jalen would point out that if we just kidnap one, there's a high chance that the others would just get punished.
Or they'll just panic and scatter.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're
There's
gonna
no point
wait.
just
We're
getting
gonna
one.
wait for more people to show up, hopefully.
Perfect. You wait for a little
The
bit.
one we want to get is Finnar. Everyone else is
Don't worry, guys. I got my net,
little
so I'll
irrelevant.
be able to throw it over Finnar when he shows up.
The rest of you, as you guys wait for about 20 more minutes, at this point the dog has gotten up and has started kind of making its way. It goes over and actually checks out Arn, and Arn puts his dagger away and reaches up and pets the dog's ear a little bit. Good boy. And then the dog makes his way back over and actually ducks around the corner and peers and makes its way over to this barrel, and it begins sniffing and whimpering at the barrel. Jalen, do you want to do anything to this, or
I would, but there are people watching.
so you just stay, let him keep whimpering?
Maybe Valneth's Vambrace
Yeah.
is in there. He wants it.
It's not okay. I
Okay,
will say it's
Jan-
not a super loud whimper. It's just kind of like
Okay. Jalen will very sneakily duck her eye just above the barrel just to see if anyone's watching.
okay. You do so. I'm gonna have you make a stealth check for me as you do this.
Oh boy.
Going full meerkat right now.
This dog is going to be the death of me. Stealth. Yes, that's good. 19.
Jeez. Yeah, you peer out and the dog is sitting there and it's like wagging its tail and it looks at you. And it sees you peek your head out and it stands up. It kind of runs around in a circle and like plops its like butt down on the ground again. And it's just like, and it like gets up again and kind of goes back and like paces like through here, as if to like tell you something. Oi, what are you on about, pup? And you don't hear anything move. You don't hear him get up, and Theodric does not see him get up. He just is there, kind of minding his own business as he's just pretty entertained by this dog. Feanor, I'm gonna have you make a wisdom skill, or not a wisdom skill check, a perception check for me.
Yeah, 15.
15. You're kind of creeping over and you barely peek your eyes up over and you see kind of this whole exchange go down. You dip back over and you kind of lean back trying to think, getting your net ready. And all of a sudden you can hear, barely audible, the sound of snoring.
Okay,
It's very close.
Okay, I want to try and put like my head to the hay. Does it seem to be coming from within?
It gets louder. Barely, but it gets louder.
All right, I'll keep keep that in mind for the moment.
Okay.
Can he tell if it's like a adult snoring or is it a kid or?
It's
Snoring.
very audible. It's kind of like the mixture between snoring, like kind of like, but like also like very heavy breathing, like. It's clearly a man, but you're not able to tell how old this person is. Like a male.
Street
Yeah,
rat.
info to keep for the moment, but no, he's not going to do anything. Just going to keep waiting.
A little bit more time passes, about 5 more minutes, and you hear more rustling. Actually, this one more obvious than others, as another individual makes his way up through. Very similarly dressed, however, this individual seems to have a leather chest piece. Not something that's super, so still like the green hood, everything, but a leather chest piece, as if, I don't know, this looks decently, actually pretty new. And he comes through and he has a shield at his side and a sword tucked in a sheath, and he says, "Oi, Arn, what you doing back so soon? Did you already get your kill for tonight?" And Arn, he says, "Tell me about it." And he throws actually out in front what looks to be the carcasses of 3 rats, like out kind of in front of him.
Street rat.
Not much in these streets, but well, hopefully this could at least feed us for tonight. Ugh, freaking rats again, and figures. Well, I actually have gotten something a little bit better. And he takes out a small satchel, and he kind of pours like a couple of coins like into his hand. One of them is a gold coin, and 2 of them are silver, so 3 coins. He takes one of the silver pieces, and he's like, "And one for me." And he puts it kind of like in his pocket, and he puts the other 2 coins back in. Well, this will at least keep me keep me in his graces for a while. It's been a while since I've been able to find gold. And he actually walks his way over here, and he sits down on this crate. Theodric, I'm going to have you make a stealth check for me.
Oh no!
You are not currently moving, so I'm not going to say you have disadvantage on the stealth check because you're not like moving and like trying to sneak away from someone. But the reason that I'm doing this is so because it is cold, if he notices any presence of heat that's around or anything up.
So
You know what this is? This is the exact moment where, like, the guy is hiding and then the other guy steps on his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a 6.
A 6. He sits down on this crate and he's like, "Oi, that ruddy dog sitting here." And he stands up quickly and he begins to kind of like move it and notices that it's like not moving.
Realizing what's happened.
Like shaking it. He's not like undoing it, but he's like trying to like move it. "That ruddy dog's been here. I'm gonna get fleas." As he just like
It's the newest Dalish technology, heated barrels.
Seeing this
crates.
kind of happening in the like entrance way that they've been walking through, is that like I want to like add like some planks of wood on a little fence or something. I want to throw one of these rocks that I had from before and try and make some like noise off to like another direction, like a loud enough sound that sounds like someone's like kicked a stone or something.
do a sleight of hand check for me.
Hopefully Jalen's not looking this way.
17.
I've ducked back down into the barrel. I'm fine.
17.
17, you do so, and you take a little stone that's stuck within the thatching here, and you chuck it up, probably about a good like 5 feet through, like up here, and it hits the stone wall of this little house, and go, and immediately this guy stands up. "Oi! Hey, is that you, Gunnar?" And he makes his way over here.
Meanwhile, in his crate, Theodric's just like,
I only picked up 2 rocks before, so I don't have any more to throw. So.
Did Valnith get a good view of the guy? who's
Yes,
sitting on the
actually,
crate?
as he came back around, very aware to his presence, you see every detail of him as he makes his way. He's a little bit smaller than Arn, but you do notice that he is wearing like this leather chest piece, and you see that he does carry a shield and what looks to be a sword on his side. And he makes his way over, and he's looking. He's like, "Freaking bloody place gives me the creeps." Ugh. And then he kind of comes back around and makes his way kind of just like right in front of Arn and says, "Any word from Finnar yet?" Not so much. And he does, as this is happening, he's like pulled the rats back in and like kind of like tucked them away. He says, "No, I haven't heard much. I haven't heard hide nor hair of him. Met up with him about an hour ago. He said he had some unfinished business to do. But he said for us to meet him here, so that's just what we're going to do. You remember last time?" And he points his dagger over to the house. "Do you remember last time one of us disobeyed orders?" And, yeah.
Oh man, I don't want to hurt these guys. They're just victims.
Yeah, you can dictate that. You can say that your hits aren't lethal. That's a thing you can do in D&D.
I guess, but like,
Look, we're definitely gonna ask them to surrender. We're not gonna just like
yeah,
bash each other unconscious.
I know.
Unless we absolutely have to.
They're so afraid of Big Boss Man, though.
Yeah,
Like,
let's make
I'm
them
afraid.
scared. We gotta give them something else to be scared of for right
But-
now, so that they're
but-
more likely to surrender than the big boss man is.
But Valneth isn't intimidating. He's just
No,
an
he
elf
isn't.
who can tap dance.
Oh, maybe you gotta charm them then with your sweet dance move.
I'm
This
not
elf
good at
just come out of the
Set up
ruins
your
of this building.
hands. Like right now between them, like, hello boys.
Hello, but do you remember me, Arn? Huzzah! And starts doing a little jig.
What is everyone doing? Everybody is well aware. Jalen, you can hear everything that's going on. There are very obviously two people. The dog has made its way kind of over here, and it's like wagging its tail and kind of running in circles as it kind of tries to jump onto Vinar.
I
Or
mean,
Vidar. Vidar. Sorry.
Again, Valneth's gonna wait for Theodric to make a move. So.
I'm gonna say like without like they still seem to be waiting. So like Feanor's not gonna do anything at the moment. When he feels the moment's right, he's going to like jump down and block the like one way out. He's basically gonna stand there. But like for the moment, he's just these guys are still waiting. Like whether
Wait.
for it's the person inside or for someone else to get back.
I missed it. Is Feanor on the roof?
Yeah.
Oh my.
No.
God.
So Feanor's on the roof. You're inside this building, FYI.
Okay. I was gonna be
Yeah,
like, oh,
I'm on
dear
the
Lord.
roof. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Doesn't
Cedric
surprise
is
me.
currently
Huh?
Cedric's currently under the crate holding his sword, ready to
Yeah.
pounce.
Yeah,
if
he's
need
solid
be.
snake. It's good. It's good.
Jalen is waiting, but she's also in her head trying to think of a name for this dog.
I like it.
Fire in chat. What is the name of the dog?
Yeah, there we go. Put a poll up. Figure it out. So as this is happening and they're chatting, he actually comes over and he sits over properly on top of this crate next to Arn, who gets up and sits on the crate that he was carving at not too long ago. And they continue. Arn says, "You know, if we play our cards right today, and Brindle does what she was supposed to do, who knows, maybe we can leave this blasted area of the city and maybe afford something proper. Who knows, maybe in somewhere closer to the commons. It's much nicer than this area." And basically the other guy says, "Why do you think Vidar, he says, why do you think I am tucking this away? Clearly, a big boss is only going to be concerned with the gold piece, and that'll take his mind off of anything else. You know, we just gotta do things quietly." Yeah, it's true. But I do feel for Brindle. She seems to be getting the short end of the stick for everything that's happening these days. she's the one who's bringing home most of what Vinar is actually eating. Yes, it's been better since Jonar and Kelmund have left, but they did say that if things don't work out, that they would return. And the winter is tough for everybody, and hopefully they don't. To be honest, Vinar is bad, but I don't want to face up to Jonar again. Indeed. That guy was a wicked bloke since the time that he was birthed from the wretched swine that would have been his mother, and they both of them laugh to each other. They have a very dark sense of humor, everything that's going on. But as this happens, there is another sound to which both, I would say, Feanor and Jalen are made aware to. I'm going to have you both make perception checks for me.
I got a 5.
9.
Okay. You don't hear much, although thinking that it is relatively close, and you hear something, you can't quite pick out what it is, Feanor, pretty much directly below you. With this window actually open on the side of this building, Jalen, you hear the sound of someone go, just kind of like, almost like they're like rustling, like someone like moving over, like rolling over, to some degree.
Interesting. How far away from the window am I?
So currently you're in this barrel right here. The window is about 10 feet away in this direction.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. I will lay where I am.
Someone is having some indigestion. It's nice.
Yeah, I still have like one hand on my sword, hubris, just like ready to draw it when I need.
Perfect.
Is it the same kind of sound? Because I know we've been traveling the streets and we've been hearing like lively chatter and stuff inside, or is it like late? So late at this point, it's basically gone quiet.
It's gone quiet at this point. It's pretty late. There's no really any like local taverns or anything that are around here, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially for this part of town, right? In some other parts of the city, it'd be more lively, but this is where people come back at dark. Like they don't really go wandering around at night.
And immediately standing up from the crates, walking over in this general direction, Arn, he says, those individuals that Brindle were talking to earlier, they looked familiar. Don't you, I mean, one of them looked to be elvish. In fact, it's no mistaking, he was absolutely an elf. And he like shudders at like all of a sudden. Strange times these days. I'm not gonna lie, it was different from our normal routine, but... and he thinks, Vidar, what do you know about dancing? And Vidar, he just like looks up like, what the frick are you talking about? I was doing this dance with this elven gentleman that I saw earlier today, and he's just like, you should probably put that pipe away. Arn, you've maybe had one too many puffs for the day, don't you think?
Valinith walks out with his arms like this. Why? I'm joking.
No, it's just ever since the gathering of the 5 armies, things have not felt quite the same here. I feel more on edge than usual. Yes, even though Jonar and Kelmund have made their way south and out of the city. There's just something I can't quite put my finger on. I know Brindle's been on about it, and I don't know. She keeps talking about how she feels guilty for the things that she's doing, but she's so good at it. And then Vidar, he says, right, if there's one thing that we've learned from our years here, is we've learned to stick together, and we've learned to keep out of the clutches of those darn guards here. They keep getting better and onto us day after day. Fortunately, I don't think they found this storehouse, or if they have, fortunately, we haven't been here. I don't think they've been here for a couple of days, as clearly as, and he points over to, Olaf. Well, ever since that day, he hasn't been quite right. And the boss keeps saying that if he doesn't pull his weight, he's out. I don't want to know what that quite means, but I only shudder. We need to do what we can to be able to take over from what Olaf is unable to do. And at this point, I'm going to have all of you make perception checks for me.
That right there comes in with a 21.
Whew.
I got a 13.
13.
I got a nat 20 for a 23.
Nat 20. Okay.
And
23.
Valnith gets a 23. Not nat 20, but 23.
Holy smokes. All of you are hyper aware of the situation, including Theodric. Theodric, you are underneath this crate, and you see the kind of the ankles of this individual, and you see that the boots that he is currently wearing look completely worn, almost like tattered through. Like one of his toes is like kind of poking out like the top a little bit. And this gentleman in front looks very gentleman, well, for lack of a better term. He looks very cold and very wet, but he seems to be pacing back and forth, and the dog has kind of made its way back in this general direction as well. Jalen, you notice that there is a sound coming from this window, and you see, as you peek out, you see that the window is open. And with this perception check, you are able to detect that this individual that is inside does seem to be Olaf. And from what you've heard, he was beaten pretty badly, and he was knocked unconscious, but you haven't heard anything since then. From what you putting two and two together, this is basically a sick, wounded Olaf that is sitting inside this room directly over here. Valineth, as you see kind of the two pacing back and forth, there is a shadow that is cast actually along this wall that crosses in front of this window. The window's shut, so the light is coming from here. It looks to be some kind of torchlight. And then finally, Feanor, as you're up on top and you kind of scan everything that's around, you have your net ready to go. You see off probably about a block or two down in this direction, the very familiar silhouette of what you can only imagine is Brindle. As she kind of sneakily makes her way, she's looking back and forth, but she's walking right directly down the center of this area. And she has in her hand what looks to be the bag of goodies that were there, but it looks much emptier than when you guys had handed it off to her.
Is the torchlight moving at all, by the way?
Torchlight is moving, and it's getting brighter and brighter, and you actually at this point have noticed that the two of the Arn and Vidar are looking down. They haven't said anything as they look down the...
It's not, this isn't coming from Brindle, is it?
No. So Brindle, I mean, you have no idea. Feanor, Brindle is not carrying a torch. You have eyes on her, but you don't see whoever's coming down this aisle.
Okay.
Valnith is waiting. He's poised like a cat, a jungle cat, waiting for prey.
How so? What? Well, I guess. Do you have weapons drawn? Like, what's going on?
No. He has it like in his mind. He has it at the ready, but no, nothing drawn or anything. He's like kind of crouched down in like a position to go if he needs to go in a way. So that's what he's doing.
And a little bit of time passes, and another individual actually walks down. And this person has a bow slung across their back. And they have a torch in their hand. And he says, I plucked this off of one of the guards the other day, and he dips it into the snow. Or I plucked this off of one of the guards earlier, and he plunges it in the snow, completely extinguishing it. It's a torch, essentially, what it is, but it has a iron tip. And then he says, and this, and he pulls out a small flask of what looks to be lantern oil. Oi, we've been complaining that it's been quite dark in this area. Well, it looks like we can shed a little bit of light here. Well, at least when the boss isn't here. I'm kind of sick of these darkening days. And always being in the shadow during the daytime, it's... And he just continues to keep walking, and he knocks on this door, to which you hear basically a groaned cry. Oi! Who is it? Olaf, it's me, Gunnar. I think I've got the medicine that you need. And then Arn, he says, hurry before the boss comes back. And he makes his way in and it disappears.
They're so good. They take care of their bread.
Yeah, I think we're only going to subdue them as best we can. We already knew that they were kind of being strong-armed into it.
Can Valineth hear any of this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely everything.
It piques his interest. He's like, injured person. What? He actually positions himself in the doorway to see if he can get like a better view of it without trying to give himself away.
Make a stealth check for me.
Oh Lord.
It's okay.
Please. Okay, it's not horrible. It's 11.
11. You're able to position yourself when, like, you're very careful about where you're placing your steps, and you're able to crouch down. You're unable to see anything past this doorway. However, as he enters within the threshold of the doorway and closes it, you see that it's a dark room and kind of dusty and dingy, but it does look dry. And not much time passes when actually Brindle makes her way up with the bag of goodies from before. You see that she is still wearing the old pair of boots. She hasn't changed into the new ones. And she says, hey, is everybody back? They all kind of like nod and agree, except for the boss. All right. Well, let's better get inside and divide our spoils amongst ourselves before he gets back. And they all agree, and they all go inside.
I kind of want to make an alliance with them, not gonna lie.
If we can sweet talk them, yeah.
I know.
My main thought is if Finnar shows up and we mess him up, like,
And then make the deal afterwards?
like you don't have to be scared of him.
You can. We'll let you after we mess up Finnar, I guess.
If we go, oh, we messed the guy you're scared of.
We mess your boss up. We take him off to be clapped in irons. You guys are free to move on and keep being cool to each other.
I do think it's interesting. The only counter to going and healing that dude, if Valineth's gonna do it, he's gonna go up and do it.
Yeah, Valineth's really tempted. That's all you say.
The only counter would be if it spooks him,
or if he gets stabbed in trying to help.
Oh, that's what we're here for.
Shake you very much.
They're like, oh, that elf dude shanks him. 3 other people
Heal
instantly
himself
appear.
if he gets shanked.
I know. I heard there was an injured person, and Orange looks at him like the surprise meme. Dun dun dun. Where did you come from?
No, if you're gonna do that, if Valineth's gonna go heal, then Valineth's gonna go heal.
He's gonna peek his head out the door.
You do so, and as you do, you notice that there is nobody else in the alleyway. I guess back courtyard area. The door has been closed, and everybody who was recently out here has all gone inside. Jalen, you do hear a number of people inside talking, and it's just a general chit-chat about the things that they saw throughout the day. But the one voice you do not hear, you know that Brindle is here, but you don't hear her talking amongst them inside.
Yeah, makes sense. Yes, I am going to bide my time, and I'm gonna wait very patiently.
Okay. So you peek your head out, you don't see anything. Are you going to do anything else, Valineth?
I just relay the information to Theodric that everyone had gone inside. It's because he's under a box, right? He can't
Yeah.
hear or see anything, or he can hear, but he can't see anything.
He can kind of see. There's a little bit of holes like in the
Crack, yeah.
cracks of them, but
I just relay the information to him, and I just tell him, "All right, get ready. No one's in the alley, but I feel like mischief is about." And so I tell him to get ready, and Valneth gets ready too. In order to whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. And actually, Valneth is gonna wait. He actually sees Feanor on the roof. Does he see Feanor on the roof? I'm assuming so, right?
yeah.
across the
You knew that he's up there.
gives you a thumbs up.
Yeah. Valneth kind of like makes eye contact with him, and he kind of looks out the door and sees if he can see Jalen at all. Which she's around the corner, so he can't, right?
No, he can't.
Okay, so he just looks and is just like kind of on his toes, ready. Like, is it time? Is it now? Kind of thing. So, I mean, I think Feanor kind of has the best view of everything. So,
And during this, in hushed voices, Jalen, being by the window, you can actually hear that there's a small conversation that kind of continues on where they actually talk directly to Jalen. Hey, Jalen, you met up with Finnar as well, didn't you?
Brindle, you mean?
You mean
Yeah, Brindle. Sorry.
Okay, all
So
right.
they're like,
Not Jalen.
"Hey, Jalen."
Yeah. You
It's
met
like,
up.
Oh no!
You met up.
How
You
did they find me?
you met up
Got
with.
there all staring out of the window at you in the barrel, like, hey.
You met up with Finnar as well. No. They say Brindle. You met up with Finnar as well. He took something from you, didn't he? And she kind of looks down, almost half ashamed. Yeah, he took one of my boots. I don't know why. I told him if he was just gonna take it, don't like. And he told me, well, my left one is the one that's messed up, and he took one of my boots and then went off to one of the storehouses on the southern end. I don't know what he's up to. And then she goes quiet, and the others are just like, hey, Brindle, is there something wrong? You've done so much good for what we've been able to, and I understand, and actually, you say, yeah, I even got 2 rats for you today. I don't need to eat. And Brindle's just like, rats again? As you just kind of like hear all of this kind of chit-chat, and yeah, very much like teenagers being teenagers, or young adults being young adults. And that's what you're able to hear, Jalen.
Did you bring the bear meat, Feanor?
It's been so long. It's been like an entire winter. I don't think I have all the bear meat.
No.
I've probably been giving it out to a lot of poor people. So
The only solution is to buy more bear meat.
I know, right? Okay. Well, I'm assuming Jalen's the only one who hears this, right?
Yeah, Jalen's the only one who hears that.
The more I hear of this, the more I hate Finnar, and just like I'm like, these guys are just down on their
I
luck.
know. I freaking feel bad for them. I want to go heal the
Let's
guy.
screw Fina. All my homies hate Fina.
we make a gift basket. We knock on the door and we leave.
No, Valneth's is like,
We
excuse
befriend
me.
all the
I
children.
feel like we already did that though when we gave it to Brindle.
Yeah.
I need to heal this good sir right here. Olaf seems in rough shape. Yeah, I don't know. If only it was that simple.
It could be if you walk over there.
Oh god, shit.
It could be if you walk over there. How for Valineth, how important is it for him to heal someone? Whether
It's
they
very important.
want
to
his
him.
aid or not.
Very important to him.
How's
actually
your
talks-
perception? I mean, not perception, persuasion.
It's not very good, but I am good at healing. It's not negative, which is good. It's not
Oh.
bad.
I'm
I
glad
mean-
that that's not the case for you. It's the case for me. That's how I keep getting zeros.
Oh, so actually Valinith like kind of whispers to Theodric as he's telling him like while he's under the crate and everything about the nonsense that's going on. He's like, Theodric, I think someone's injured and doesn't sound like they're good. I don't know how much longer I can stay back here and sit idly by and wait. He says to Theodric.
Yes, I know this must be painful for you, but if we want to catch Finnar and make their lives infinitely better, we have to show this restraint for a little while longer. The moment we
Valinith-
have Fenar in custody, I'm certain we'll be allowed to help this sick man.
Valinith is like that meme with like the dog shaking with the food and just slobbering. He's showing restraint, but it is taking all of his gumption to hold back from going over there and helping. So he's gonna do so for a little longer. Again, he'll do it. Trust Theodric.
As this happens, as that conversation goes on, Feanor, you peek up and you notice that you do see some movement in the square, and it is actually the dog has reappeared through here. It sniffs around and kind of like on the ground a little bit, and all of a sudden you see that its ears perk up. And it looks, and it like sniffs the air again, kind of creeps over. Here, I'm gonna just use this piece. Creeps over in this general direction. Sniffs over here with Valinith, kind of in the hole, and goes.
Good doggy. Good doggy. Good doggy.
I grab one of my rations specifically because Jalen said that it will like food. I'm gonna tear some up and like throw it down. Hopefully, like right near the dog.
Okay, I'm gonna have you, as you do this, go ahead and make a dexterity check for me.
I'm sorry, doggy. I didn't mean to disturb you.
14.
14. You're able to throw it down right, basically in this general area, and you, Valinith, are going to make an animal handling check for me.
Oh Lord, what is this?
I tried to save him.
Yeah. Animal handling, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm actually good at animal handling. What the heck? Since when? Oh, it's wisdom based, that's why.
You are an elf.
12?
12. And it turns around and it sees the meat and it picks it up and it like begins to kind of like sit down right before it was about to bark. It was about to let out a bark, and it sits down and it begins chewing on this meat, and actually picks it up and makes its way out of the alley and down and out.
Oh, thank God. Nice.
Can I actually
The Valinith
check
throws a
the-
thumbs up. To Feanor.
Can I actually check the alley? Like, as seeing as the dog's walking away,
Mm.
is there like while checking that, is there anyone else who seems to be approaching?
Make an acrobatics check as you climb around, because you're going to have to make your way over the top of the building in order to kind of see.
A 4.
It's pretty snowy on top, and so you begin to kind of slide down a little bit.
Hey, Australian gave hope. Roll it again. Roll it again. Or inspiration, I should say.
I gave you my inspiration.
25,000 sparks.
An 11.
11. You just catch yourself as you fall and you kind of stumble back up. And you see that the dog has made its way, kind of like chewing on it, and has parked itself down a little bit. All of a sudden, its ears perk up again, and it looks around, and it whimpers a little bit, and it darts off, basically in this northern direction.
Sorry, actually, did I not have? I think I might be able to keep that hope as inspiration because I actually get advantage on dexterity-based checks. Any effects I can see while not blind and deafened or incapacitated. In general, just for being a slave.
Yep, go ahead and keep that inspiration.
Oh, okay, cool. I just looked up and I'm like, what's this little advantage dice for? I'm like, oh my god.
Quick question. These advantage dices can only be used in the stream that's being used in, right?
No, so basically you can use them, you can hold them for up to the month. And then at the end of the month, so you can hold them for 4 sessions. However, you can only hold one at a time.
Yep. Okay.
So basically, someone can't inspire you until you've used your inspiration.
That seems fair. Yeah,
Okay.
we're good.
Definitely.
I saw that and I'm like, oh, I didn't want to like.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. I'm glad. It's good that you guys know characters and figure that out because I can't keep track of all that. So that's good. Yes, you do it, but you catch yourself as you kind of crawl back up a little bit. And you see the dog dart off, and you see a man in basically a dark cloak swiftly make his way down here, and he is walking fast, like really, really fast, head down. And you can.
Are we doing it? Are we doing it, lads?
Feanor, make a perception check for me.
A 6.
A 6.
Is this like? Does this guy have the cloak on that they described?
You can use your thing. You can use your thing.
Do it
You
now.
have
You
it.
reckon?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
What
if
have
we're
you
gonna
got
do
to
it
lose?
now, yeah. Use your thing.
I got a 6 and a 5.
Well,
Ah.
Such is the life of such is the life.
D&D.
Dice
Can
with
I
us
see
and
who it
dice
is
take
from my
it away.
crate?
You barely are able to. I'm gonna have you make a perception check because this guy's moving quick, and this is gonna be at disadvantage.
Okay, that is a 5.
oh
5.
my lord,
Yeah.
guys, come
You're
on
unable,
now.
you're unable to see
I
so.
wasn't expecting it.
And the
I
guy,
just-
Off a roof.
the guy
You're
makes
under
his
a
way
crate.
over to the door and boom, 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 3 knocks, and the door opens, and he's just like, "Oi, you got the goods," and then he disappears inside the building. The door closes.
Oh, Valineth
Okay,
steps out into the
I'm
snow.
getting out of my barrel. This is
Yep.
it. I'm getting
Yeah,
out of my
and-
barrel, and I'm
yeah.
going over to by the window and just pressing myself against the side of the wall, preparing to go in.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to try and crawl along the roof to just above the door.
Okay. Make an acrobatics check for me, Feanor, with that. And then I'm gonna have Jalen go ahead and make a stealth check. Theodric, what are you doing? And then Valineth, what are you doing?
Theodric is going to be carefully climbing out of the crate, trying to stay as quiet as possible as well.
Okay, go ahead and make a
So,
stealth check for me.
Valineth assists him climbing out of that crate.
All right, normal, not disadvantage.
Yes. I got you, Theodric.
Okay, that's a 9.
9.
Oh my.
Okay, you're able to kind of crawl out, but the nice thing is you are far enough away that nobody seems to notice. But you hear loud voices coming from inside.
Your advantage definitely helped, because otherwise it was a 2.
Boy.
I did not
Um,
get such grace. I did not roll well, guys.
I got a 19.
19, you easily make your way. Just like you actually stand up, and basically the way that like Legolas walks on top of snow, you're just like. Right over
Yeah,
here.
looking over at like Valineth and Theodric, I kind of like point like at the door and like it's like trying to like gesture like, are we going in? Are we what? What are we doing?
I mean, I think we should listen for a little bit just to double check to make
Well,
sure it's the right guy.
Jalen's stealth check, what was that?
6.
6.
Oh, Lord.
You make your way over and you press yourself against the wall, and as you do so, you kick one of the crates out back, and you can hear a cough. Hey, is someone there? This is the voice from what you can assume is Olaf.
Okay,
Do we hear that? Do we hear that?
No,
Yeah,
you're
did-
far, you're
okay,
far,
yeah.
you're far enough away where,
okay,
and even Feanor to a point.
I'm not sure how we can get Jalen to know this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking busting in there right now, probably
Yeah.
not gonna have enough room for a proper fight.
I think we should go at least up to the building, Theodric, and listen in as much as we can just to make sure it's the right guy. I didn't get a view of him at all.
Yeah, okay, I guess Valineth and I are gonna try and sneak up to the door.
I'm gonna have you both make stealth checks for me, doing it very quietly as you do so. So there's a window right here, there is a door right here, and then here. This is a closed window, so it's like shutters that
Nat
are
20.
closed.
Nat 20, but it's technically a 21.
Does that save Valineth?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, you helped him, he helps you.
Thank
As you make your way, I don't even need to know your role. I probably
It
don't
was a
want to know.
5. It was a 5.
Yeah, Feanor, you're there, but Jalen, you hear, is someone there?
I would like to peek in the window very close.
All right, you do so.
He's the only one I hear inside that room, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
You
I'm just
peek
gonna
in,
peek in.
you peek in, and you see a man laying on the bed, and he's like propped up, and his eyes are like kind of turned towards you. He looks very weak, as you hold your finger up to, and he looks over kind of to the doorway, and then like looks back, and then just is like,
I'm a friend of Brindle's. Can I come in?
make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Good thing you're the one who's good at that.
All that stealth
persuasion.
is probably for nothing, but
yes. Okay, I got a 16 for a total of 20.
Ooh. He says, weakly, ugh. You see as you climb over the windowsill into this room, this is a man kind of dressed in similar clothing, but he looks a little bit older, probably in his late 20s, and he's got this beard, kind of like this gruffled, like unkept beard that he has grown, and he looks to you and like kind of concern in his eyes, and he goes. As he points directly over there, and you hear as you climb in. Oi, Sallies! Tell me! Brindle did her job here. What did you do? Arn, he says, I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't able. I mean, I watched Brindle like you said, but things got a little bit crazy. I mean, you know this. Hey, I'm gonna deal with you later. Hey, what about you? What do you have for me? And you can hear Vidar. He says, "Oh, sir." And he pulls out like his coin purse. He's like, "I got you a gold coin. I nicked it off of somebody in the market space." Oi! And he takes it, and you can hear like the sound of like kind of like him biting it. Oh's the real deal. How about this? You get a strip of what I found tonight for your dinner. All's fair when you do your job, isn't it? And Brindle. I love the innocent act that you put up. Both Valinith and I guess all of you guys, you have your ears pressed against the wall. And also, I'm going to have Feanor, the three of you, go ahead and make perception checks for me.
I got a 7.
7.
Non-natural 20.
Okay.
19.
19. So Feanor, you're unable to really hear as you can't really press your ear against the door, but both Theodric and Valinith hear everything that's going on inside just as well as Jalen is. I love how you put up the act that you do. Well, it serves you right for that starving act that you had. You bring back the most out of all of us, but seems like you've really taken the cake. Look at this. And then he says, empty the past satchel you got. But promise me that we don't eat it all tonight. Can we just make this last at least a few nights? I mean, even if I can give some to Olaf. Oi! And he mentions, that sad sack has not done anything to help any of us out here. You're lucky that he's still alive. You're lucky that I allow him to stay here. And he says, and lucky for you, I had those friends of yours off in the wrong direction. They look like a smart pair. And he pulls out the boot.
Not that we can see it.
Yeah, not that you can see it, but he pulls out the boot and he says, misdirection, my specialty. And he throws it against the wall and you hear like the clatter.
Oh boy, like this is like perfect timing. I really want to burst in there.
It's up to you guys. What do you want to do? I'll leave it at that. What do you guys want to do?
Kicks the door. Valinith donkey kicks the door.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
Okay, let's do this.
Are you announcing or are you just kicking at the door?
I'm just kicking in the door.
Okay, athletics check.
I'm in the middle of.
Oh, it's a nat 20!
You do so, and as you do, you feel that this is a relatively flimsy door and flimsy lock, and you just kick it open. Boom! And immediately inside is revealed.
Phaedric screams, "You thought!"
I'm sorry, do you actually know what a donkey kick is? So you got down on like your hands and knees?
Yeah, and donkey kicks it.
I just wanted to make sure. Because the visual image of you setting yourself up for that.
It's a little bit of a little Easter egg. So my other character in the Everlast campaign, that's her signature, the donkey kick. Okay.
I thought you meant like a Spartan kick. And
I
got
think you just wish
confused.
you were playing it.
Oh no. The donkey kick.
Because you just kick the door down and they're
Yeah,
like,
backwards,
"Ah," and you're on the
backwards.
ground on hands and knees.
Yes. So you do so. So technically you're on the roof right now, but you donkey kick this door and boom, you kick it in and it flies open. And immediately you're greeted with two bandits that are out in front of you. These ones are going to be Gunnar and Arn. And both of them are just like, hey, what the? Boss! And as you go in, I'm going to have you roll for initiative, Valinith.
Can Valinith announce himself?
Please do so.
All right, give me a second. Let me roll this initiative really quick.
Sorry, you're inside this room right here.
That's a 12. So he announces, I hear there's a sickly in here. Make way for the medic.
Oh,
And he pulls out his bow.
I'm here to heal.
Yeah, you do so. It's just like, oh, what's this nonsense? Go ahead and make a persuasion check as this happens.
And he also looks at Arn and he just says, long time no see, buddy. How's this dancing coming? What kind of persuasion check?
Yeah, persuasion.
Alright.
I got a 20 in initiative, by the way.
Are you coming in? So technically, you haven't been announced yet, Theodric. So I'm not gonna have you roll initiative quite yet.
That's a 6 for persuasion.
Persuasion. You do so as your bow is pulled, and the two of them are like, "Oi, boss!" And immediately, both Arn comes in and essentially engages you in combat, and also Gunnar. He pulls out a small knife as he goes forward, and they're upon you basically as if to get rid of you. Jalen, you are currently in the room. What are you doing at this point?
Oh, I am just like opening the door and just saying, now hold on a minute, Finnar.
It's a sting! It's a sting operation!
Yeah.
So Finnar is actually he's not in this opening room. So only Arn and Vidar are here. You can't see, but you can assume that everyone else is kind of off to the left in this area over here. So Olaf is back here on his bed. You kind of step into the doorway, and you see that these two have confronted Valineth, bow drawn inside. You hear what he says, "I'm here to heal."
And he sees Jalen across the way and he feels very confident.
Yeah. Jalen's just gonna say, we're only here for Finnar. No one else here has to get hurt.
Oi! Olaf, why didn't you say something? As Arn turns around, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have you make a persuasion check for me, Jalen.
Ooh, very fun. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna make an executive decision, and I'm gonna activate my lucky charm thing.
Okay.
Hey, let's go.
Okay, so 2 days starting from now. Okay, so I have to take the second one,
Mm-hmm.
but it can't be much worse. So I'm just gonna go for it. Oh,
This is an
my
intense
computer's being
business
really
stuff.
slow, and it's bugging me out. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's
yeah.
18, I think.
And
That
with
is a worthy use. That is an 18.
Yeah.
and with that 18, the two of them turn around, and you like they turn around from Valinith, and you hear, "Who says that they've come here to stand up against me, Finnar?" And that's where we're gonna end our session for tonight.
Oh, God. It's actually
Oh,
right
come
about tonight.
on.
I gotta go.
It's only 11 o'clock.
That's
Only 11 o'clock.
Only
I'll be back. I'll be back. All right. Maybe you'll
till
be
like
at the end of the
midnight
time, but I'll
last
be
time.
back.
Yeah, no worries. And so we're going to go ahead and end it there. We're going to pick up from the potential scrap next week of what's going down. Good work, everybody. It was a lot of sleuthing, investigating, figuring out what's going on. I have to applaud you on the patience. I think other groups would just be like, we're doing this. And I actually really applaud the patience.
He even had that thought of take one out. Next one shows up, take one out. You know, at the beginning.
No.
Yeah, but it was
Um,
just like.
There's no point because then, like, if they see, you know, we're
Yeah.
only after the big guy. Everyone
And
else.
if he's
Well, and
not
at this
there,
point, like you now know that that's what the case is. Where, you know, this game is really interesting. Where maybe not every encounter turns out where like everybody is so sympathetic, but I would say like it's pretty much a crapshoot in an AME about like you know who's good, who's bad. I mean, granted, these guys are still thugs. But they're sympathetic as far as their situation is concerned. But like, I was actually really proud of you guys for sticking it out to figure, like, to truly figure that out, though.
Yeah, instead of it just being we think she's a alright person, she actually is. But I actually really like the fact, like, I liked my little moment of let's ignore this little bit of potential lead and just go find the house. I've been told about it.
Yeah.
I did do some breaking and entering, which I regret.
See, this is why I asked for permission to report
Well,
through a window.
yeah. I will say I did misread this. I thought that we said that they were in that house. So yeah,
That might
so-
have been a mistake on my part.
it's all good. It's all good.
take
So I'm like,
responsibility.
oh, okay, cool. But
do
no,
love
never
the-
mind.
I'm here to heal.
That was a very
Hands up,
good
dusting himself
character moment from Valorant, I think.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But no, I'm actually really happy. The session was good. Hopefully, the next session really picks up with quite some pace going on here, and you guys have a week to be able to think about what you're going to be doing. So, going forward. So.
Stab Valineth, Feanor, and Deirdre just like, buddy, don't. You don't,
Yeah,
want,
exactly.
you don't want to mess
Back up, back up.
We went toe with Elstand. This guy's got nothing on us.
Yeah.
Perhaps,
And he's
perhaps.
special armor, no less.
True.
He
But
turns into a Nazgul.
yeah, really, just like instant points of shadow, just like you are mine, sap your will, just completely.
So
Wow.
now you know what it is to be touched by the shadow like the rest of us normies.
Yeah, it's true.
Finally got my first points of shadow, and that was from wasn't even from anything like
It
attacking me.
was from a misdeed.
Yeah. I thought the guy
Yeah.
had the understanding. I didn't have anyone. but-
You're just a little rapscallion, you are.
Well, look, I didn't. Look, I didn't have.
Actually, I
didn't get as
so
many
so
as I
between us, I did take a point of shadow off from that. Any misdeed is technically 3 points of automatic shadow. Just FYI.
Aw.
And so I gave you 2 because I realized it was just like,
Because you
all
only
right.
entered, you did not break. I
Well,
knew it
that's-
was
And I-
something.
And I paid the dude, and I was very polite. But like, I get it. No, you gotta have.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
be
good.
more cautious next time.
Yeah. And this is
Well,
good.
well,
This
well.
is how we all learn to do stuff. But anyways, and so for going on for the rest of the week as far as Fantasy Forge. So tomorrow, actually, if Dain is feeling okay, he will be doing more Breath of the Wild. There was a fun stream on yesterday, and hopefully it continues to be so. And then
I
actually,
can't believe his whole thing got deleted.
Oh.
Because his whole current run had been deleted and he had to restart.
yep. And such is life. Such is how that happens. And then on Friday, actually, Cole will be starting his, so I guess Saturday, our time. But Friday will be, Cole will be playing some Age of Calamity, so more Zelda. So that's something that's really cool. And so we have got a lot going on, and then obviously we'll start our normal schedule next week with things. But we also have a sponsor. We have Die Snacky. We're actually doing pretty good. We heard back from them, and we're trudging our way towards that goal of 15 referrals to get the giveaway. We're pretty close, actually. So keep it up, everybody. And if you have not done so, make sure you give them your Twitch name if you did buy something, if you want tickets towards that. You can just message them. I know someone did that before, they told me. And so just tell them if you missed out on giving your Twitch name and you want tickets towards that raffle, do so. Just private message them and they'll go ahead and include that. And then they'll send that over to us. But they sell Japanese sweets and luxury treats, all kinds of fun, delicious, goody stuff. From the regular omakase box to their omakase looks box, which are random assortment boxes. They have their spring box, which is only here for another week. And so now is your chance to be able to do it and to be able to purchase, because once basically May 1st happens, that box is gone. So get on top of it. It'll be really good. And I do have to say, springtime sweets in Japan are delicious. They're amazing. Well, it kind of is berry flavored a lot of the time, but so I'm not a fan of that. But other stuff I'm a fan of. And then they also have their character boxes. And so anywhere from their regular kawaii anime box, from Pokemon to Sanrio to Disney to Nintendo, all that kind of stuff. So go check them out. Make sure you let them know that we sent you send them in the memo section. And it helps us out and also helps a Japanese small family business. So do that. And since Dain isn't here, I don't think there is anything else to add, but we'll go ahead and close everything down there for the night. But you all have an amazing one, and thank you all for joining us. And we will be continuing our adventure next Thursday or next Wednesday, and it'll be a party. So we're heading out. Bye, guys. May the road go ever on and on. Bye, everyone.